In this video, we'll be trying a $10 steak from Walmart, a $10,000 steak from Japan, and everything in between. But we're starting here at the dollar store where we're gonna try to find our $1 steak. Where is the steak section here? We found the frozen section, could be back here. That is meatloaf. Oh, here they are, ribeye steak. We are literally in a dollar store right now and we have a ribeye steak. Oh, that does not look good. The key now is to look through all the different steaks and see if I can find the best looking one. I need to get a bang for my buck. This steak right here is actually extremely well marbled. $1.25, we'll count that as $1. One thing that I noticed with this steak on the way home is that it's apparently mechanically tenderized, which I have never before seen on a steak. It also says it's rubbed with seasoning, but I don't really trust that either. And yet another red flag is the fact that this steak doesn't expire for an entire year, which is either not true or disgusting. And either way, I'm a little concerned. This steak peels and opens up sort of like a string cheese. And right away, I can tell this is absolutely disgusting. The steak is not at all intact, and I can see the individual parts of the ribeye all split apart. That could have something to do with that intense mechanical tenderization process. But what I will say is, I'm not surprised this only cost $1. The only bonus I can see right now is that it's actually extraordinarily tender. This thing smells absolutely terrible. To cook it up, our first step will be to pat it dry on both sides. Oh my God, it's falling apart. Given that we've only spent $1 on this steak, I can't wait to see what it looks like when we spend $10,000 on a steak. And I'll season it up with just a touch of salt and a bit of fresh cracked pepper, then flip and do the same thing on the other side. To cook our steak, I'll start in a pan with just a bit of oil. And because our steak is already falling apart, I'm gonna use a spatula to put this in the pan. How on earth are you allowed to sell this as a ribeye? Once our oil begins to shimmer, in we go. The difficult part about cooking a steak like this is that you have such a short window of time to be able to get a crust on either side without overcooking the steak. Even though I still don't think I have that perfect crust, I have to flip. I will say that we got a little bit of a crust on some of the edges of the steak, but what I'm most excited about is the fact that the steak actually smells pretty good now. That weird smell is totally gone. Now that our steak is cooked, there's one last thing to do. It's about as overcooked as I expected it to be, although I would never want to eat a steak like this anything under medium. At this point, it's gonna be all about the flavor. You know what? Not bad. Against all odds, our $1 steak might be some of the best bang for your buck I've ever had. But I am a little nervous to eat the rest of this, so let's go find a $10 steak. We'll be cooking our $10 steak inside a Walmart. Cooking in Walmart is a little bit frowned upon, so I'm gonna need to make this as fast as I possibly can. How are you? First, we need our steak. Now the key here is finding a steak that's as close to $10 as possible. $23 for all the ribeyes. T-bone also looks great, but $16.60. That's out of my budget. There must be a steak in here somewhere that's $10. New York strip, $14, $12.80. Huh? $9.99. This is our steak. Now the only thing left, seasonings. All right. I think I just passed it. I have some very exciting news. Osmo is gonna be in Walmart for a limited time, so go make sure you grab some before it's gone. Given we're at Walmart and there are shoppers running all around, I have to cook this steak as fast as possible before I get kicked out. The good thing is I've come prepared. I'll start by slicing open my $10 steak, which I must say is a fantastic looking New York strip. Despite the fact that I've only paid $10 for it, the marbling on here is incredible. And you know what's gonna make it even better? Osmo, the best salt in the game. To get that nice smoky flavor, I'm gonna use the hickory blend. I'll coat my steak generously, making sure to hit every nook and cranny, and of course, not forgetting about the sides. When I talk about getting proper seasoning, this right here is what I mean. I'll finish it off with some fresh cracked pepper, once again making sure to hit every single part of our $10 steak, and it's time to cook. I'll start by generously covering my cast iron pan with some oil. Oh, you get a turkey? Go for it.
Thank you.
It's always a tough choice, isn't it?
I'm trying to find the biggest one I can. So
like
far, I got 15 pounds.
They're all almost just dead on 15, huh?
Yeah, this one's 15 and a half.
All right.
Thank you.
Of course. Once that oil's gotten nice and aromatic, in goes our steak. The thing I'm getting a bit nervous about now is how much smoke we're producing. I really don't want to set off the fire alarms in Walmart. But so far, there have been a good number of employees who have walked right by and they haven't said a word to me about this. I'm definitely starting to get a nice crust. It's not quite as even as I want it to be, but we're getting there. You might have to cut me some slack here because this is my first time cooking a full steak in a Walmart. No, I'm just gonna cook a steak in here until someone kicks me out. At this point, I've gotten a beautiful crust on the first side, so I'll flip it over and try to get the same on the other. The biggest challenge with cooking a steak right out of the refrigerator like this is the fact that I didn't have time to let it come to room temperature. So I am a bit nervous that it could get overcooked on the outsides and not get all the way warm and pink on the inside. But I guess we'll find out in just a minute. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good, so it's time to let our steak take a nice little nap. You wanna go through? You can go.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's totally fine, thank you. Before I cut into my steak, I want to remind you to go to your local Walmart and grab some Osmo before it's gone. If you've already tried it, you know how great it is, and if you haven't, I guarantee you're gonna love it. We're selling our 3-pack bundle with a flaky white, a roasted garlic, and an exclusive to Walmart hickory blend that I have to say is one of my favorite salts we've ever made. But again, there are only a few of these per store, so go and get some before they're gone. And I'll also be visiting a lot of stores, signing some boxes, so I might even see you there. Now it's time for the moment of truth. Here we go. Our first ever Walmart steak. Oh my God. Not only is this perfect medium rare, but I think this might just be better than some of the steaks I cook at home in my own kitchen. It's incredibly juicy. It's got a beautiful crust.
What are you doing?
What's that?
What are you doing?
Just finished cooking a steak.
We allowed to cook steaks here?
Would you like a piece?
Please.
Yeah? Okay. It's got hickory salt on there, a little bit of pepper, pretty simple. Let's see.
That's really good.
You like it?
Oh yeah, I love it.
So I'm getting kicked out, I assume, right? What's the rating?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 for our $10 steak.
You will pay more than $10 for it.
This tastes like an $100 steak. Speaking of which, let's go get our $100 steak. For our $100 steaks, I've hired a few hibachi chefs to do a hibachi party with a few subscribers. What are your names?
Chef soy sauce. So yum yum.
Each of these steaks is a $100 A5 Wagyu filet mignon, and each subscriber will be getting their own. You guys like hibachi?
Oh,
yeah.
hibachi.
So who's tried Wagyu before?
Never tried it.
Nope.
Wow!
New experience.
Big day for all of you. I've probably had 250 pounds of Wagyu in my life.
Goodness.
Here we go.
Nice.
Oh boy. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Catching your mouse.
Oh,
All right, let's do it. Hey.
Yep.
all right.
Oh, almost. Hey. Okay. We have to redeem ourselves.
I know.
Hey, one person stay right next to me. You should spin the egg. Okay. So
Spin
get the
the egg.
batter. Get the batter. It's toast.
Oh.
All right.
You can try one. Ready?
Okay. Put it right on over.
Okay, go.
I think I got a little too excited about it.
There you go.
Oh.
My heart's beating really fast.
Oh.
So we're gonna hold it. Okay.
Good job. Okay, that was great. Did I break it? I think we can all get this one.
Oh.
Try again, try again.
Oh.
You'll get it, you'll get it.
Oh.
All right, let's see.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Oh! What's up, baby? Yeah, chef. It's all because of you.
Wow, that looks insane.
My life is gonna change.
Thank you very much. This honestly is like the best looking steak I've ever seen in my life.
Would you like to start us out?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. That's so soft.
That's crazy.
Is it
That is so tender.
It's literally like butter in your mouth.
Yeah, it just kind of falls apart.
This is so good.
Chef Soy Sauce,
Yes.
I have a question for you. Do you think you can make better fried rice than Uncle Roger?
Ooh.
I could make like maybe any count 10 to 15 different flavor flavors.
You hear that, Uncle Roger? And he doesn't even need MSG.
This $100 steak is incredible.
You know, guys, I just realized I'm actually late for a $1,000 steak, so I gotta take off. Will you guys split my plate?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, see you.
I tried to think about who would sell a $1,000 steak, and it turns out there's only one man for the job. Salt Bae. Salt Bae was once my enemy, but now we're friends. Not to brag, but he even follows me on Instagram. And now I'm back to try another one of his steaks. Could I please do the golden tomahawk?
Great choice. Yeah.
1,000 big ones. I'm trying to build my spice tolerance, so why don't we do some grilled jalapenos? Of course. Thank you. They actually let us sneak into the kitchen to watch some of the behind the scenes. I gotta say, they know what they're doing back there, but we'll see how the steak comes out. I gotta get one of these shirts while I eat, you know?
Yes, we get your size.
Wow. That's a big one. Oh my. Can't even see any of the food.
Ready?
Yeah, I think so. Here we go. Oh yeah. I can already tell it's perfectly cooked. Okay. There we go. Thank Thank you, everybody. When you initially look at the price tag of a steak like this, you might think it sounds crazy, but did you see that experience we just got? Not to mention the entire thing is coated in edible gold. This looks to be a perfect medium to medium rare. But as always, how does it taste? Oh my God. This steak is crazy tender. It is really that tender that you can cut it with a spoon. This right here costs more than all 3 steaks we've had earlier in this video, but I think it just might be worth it. As promised, I am still trying to build my spice tolerance, so that is the spiciest jalapeno I've ever had. Oh my God. I need milk. Oh my God. The steak is crazy good though.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. And thank you for the shirt.
Of course.
After a bit of tax, we're just over $1,000. Worth it. Let's go try a $10,000 steak. For our $10,000 steak, I've brought in my friend Chef James Kent, who has 3 Michelin stars and is gonna be helping us make the best dish I think I'll ever taste today.
That's what I like to hear. When you reached out to me, like, what do you want to cook? I'm like, this is the dish I want to cook.
This is it.
I was lost in Long Island and we were really hungry.
Okay.
And we went to a steakhouse and we had a steak Oscar. And it's a tenderloin with hollandaise, warm crab, and it was fucking delicious.
So we have this $7,500 bone-in A5 Wagyu ribeye, this $750 live king crab, and a $500 tin of caviar. So you have all the best ingredients in the world in front of you. You tell me if you need me to be your sous chef?
I think first thing we have to cook this. So we're gonna broil it in the back. Takes like good 7-8 minutes. So this guy right here.
So next up, the meat.
So this is the shoulder side, is like the more rib end side. This is the loin that runs through, and this is the cap that is really the best piece of meat. This is such a serious steak.
And it cuts almost like a stick of butter.
You feel the fat in your hands.
It's like jamon iberico, it just melts the second you touch it.
Wagyu is not something you could really eat a lot of.
10 of you watching could split this one piece and be very happy, maybe 20 plus.
This is gonna be such a delicious piece of meat. We should probably cut it one more time.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, king
Timer.
crab?
Let's go, chef. Let's go, let's go.
Look at that. Dunk him right in there. So while that crab rests, we're gonna trim this down just a little bit more because we need to get this cooking.
So the way that I would do this, you know, like this hunk of fat goes away.
Yep.
Like, you could use this if you want to like render it and brush on top of it.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
you use this stuff.
Every new piece you cut, you get this sort of new marbling when you get such a big piece of Wagyu like this. It's like a little art piece inside of every slice that you're making. You're going for the heart of this whole thing to get the best piece you can, right?
Yeah.
This is the funniest thing to me today, that these are our scraps.
Yeah, these are the scraps. Goes in the bin. This is the one though, right there.
That's the one. This is the holy grail of the cow.
Yeah, this is the money. So with this, you don't want to do too much. Like literally just salt. Not even black pepper.
Grill time.
Real time.
Oh baby, that looks good. We should talk about the smell of this thing right here for a second, how incredible this piece of meat smells. Oh my God. I mean, that just looks crazy.
See, so like the flare up is fat burning. So you saw all that fat that was in the beef. That is rendering and that is like spilling out into the flame.
So that steak is cooking in the oven. We're gonna let that finish while we
Break down the king crab.
So at this point, it should be cooled off, right?
Yeah, yeah, so it's ice cold.
Woo. Oh boy, look at that.
All that you eat are the legs.
Yep.
This is all trash. Like you wouldn't eat this stuff. You can eat anything, man. You know, think of if you were like naked and afraid and like lost in the woods. Like
We've all been there, right? I haven't usually been naked and afraid with a king crab though.
That is fair too.
It's crazy to me that this video started out with a $1 steak from the dollar store, and just wait till you see what the final dish is gonna look like from what he's doing right now.
I'm excited, man. I'm hungry. So there's a little feather bone that runs through the length of this that you need to be careful to take out. And this is a lot of money, so you don't want to damage any of the meat. And the way that I think about it too, when like my cooks mess up a piece of fish, man, that fish gave its life for us to eat. Like you have to pay respect to these animals, you know?
Yeah.
So you see that feather bone? So this runs the length of the interior of the leg. And this is not fun to eat.
So you're left with this gorgeous, gorgeous piece.
You let ingredients speak for themselves.
Yeah. See, getting 3 Michelin stars, it's not that hard.
Man,
right?
it's a lot of work.
This is what I always call the moment of truth, and it looks
Look at that.
pretty damn perfect, right? I don't want to hear anybody in the comments telling us this is raw, because this is perfection. Okay, onto the plate.
King crab, just to make it look perfect.
Wow, oh my God. Just some nice whipped hollandaise.
Sturgeon caviar, royal ossetro, and it's a really beautiful pearl. Look at that.
So this is how we put it over the top, right?
Like literally and figuratively. Look at that. Oh, we got chives. This is the little bit of vegetable on the plate. And then you are in business.
So now it's healthy.
Now it's healthy. This right here is the $10,000 steak.
This is a big step up from the $1, $10, $100, $1,000. This one right here is the one.
This is the one.
You gotta get the perfect bite, right?
Caviar, the crab. Salute.
Here we go. Damn.
It's a good dish.
The pure happiness that you get of a bite like that. I don't like swearing ever, but it's fucking good.
$10,000 dish right there.
Good work.
My pleasure, man. I appreciate it. I think we may be putting this on the menu.
Wagyu is the most prized beef on the entire planet. And today we're gonna do something that, to my knowledge, nobody has ever done before. We're gonna cook an entire Wagyu cow. But the real challenge here is finding that much Wagyu, and fortunately, I know just the right guy. Guga!
What's going on, everybody? What's up, Nick?
Guga here knows more about beef and Wagyu than anybody I've ever met.
I actually cook quite a few, I must say.
More than quite a few. Guga, I really don't want to keep people waiting here. Should we show them?
Yeah, check this out, everybody.
What we have here laid out on the table is an entire Wagyu cow. Guga, can you explain some of this?
Every single piece there is, we have it right here. So here we got neck meat, and that's brisket, and then we got flap meat, we got picanha, we got oxtail. I don't know what that is. What did you do?
Manny, you're fired. Get out. So Guga, what we have here is not technically an entire cow. That would break the table.
Exactly, and on my pocket.
It would be at least what, $50,000?
Maybe even more.
Maybe
a full
even more.
Wagyu A5 cow? Oh yeah.
More than that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so we don't want to spend the amount of a nice Tesla on a Wagyu cow.
That's right.
Let's
That's
just
right.
say that. I'd probably rather pick the car at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
But what we have done is found virtually every single piece we can find in a cow and laid it out across this table.
Correct. Every single piece here that we have is Wagyu. We have some very exciting pieces. Some others not that exciting, but I can't wait to see how it's gonna turn out.
But we really do. We have a lot of pieces that even I have not tried myself. We have the cheeks up here from right there on the face. That's
exactly.
crazy. We have the oxtail, right?
Exactly.
Which I think is insane.
Yeah, one of my favorite pieces of meat too.
I can't believe the tail can get that thick. Look at how thick that piece is.
Yeah, it starts out nice and thick and go nice and thin in the end.
Crazy. We have little funny legs here with the bone marrow.
Exactly.
Which, if you haven't tried bone marrow, is one of the tastiest parts of a cow. Beef flavored butter. Just think of that, and it's amazing.
And we can't forget my favorite piece of meat, picanha.
I have never had picanha.
Well, you're gonna have it today for sure.
Woo. So today we're gonna be spending 12 hours at least, right?
Maybe more. Probably more. 14 hours to 15 hours.
It's all hands on deck, and we're gonna try to cook this entire Wagyu cow to taste as many pieces as we possibly can.
Which one are you mostly excited about?
Cut the cam.
Oh, come on. Come on, man.
Cut the cam. Cut the cam. And Guga, after we try all these pieces, I want to sit down with you and talk about what we tasted today and kind of rank them out to tell people what our favorite parts of this Wagyu cow are, because I don't think anyone else has gotten to experience what you and I are about to try.
Absolutely. I can't wait to try them all at the same time so we can rank which one is better.
Let's get cooking.
All right, let's go. We got a lot of work to do, everybody.
So let's pick out all the pieces we want to start cooking.
Okay.
So what's going to take the longest here? What do we
Brisket, and we're definitely cooking the brisket.
Okay.
That's a no-brainer.
All right, so I'm going to smack this on the tray. That's going to take the most time. How long does that take?
That one's gonna take about 12 hours.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay. Okay. I actually personally really want to try the cheeks, so can we try
Cheeks,
those?
yep, let's
I
go.
wanna cook those up.
Definitely.
Bone marrow, amazing.
A must.
We
a
need
must.
to talk about it to people and how good it is.
Yeah,
Almost
absolutely.
bread.
One of my nephew's favorite thing, Angel, he loves this thing as well.
Let's take the bone marrow.
Definitely picanha. We have to cook the
Oh,
picanha.
I know you're
Yeah,
picanha. You
absolutely.
okay over there holding all this?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
I don't really know if I want to do the intestines, at least not to start. Is that okay?
All right, yeah. We'll, if we have enough time, let's cook it too.
Do we have enough time to cook the oxtail? Huh?
Definitely. Put it in here.
Putting
Absolutely.
some of those on?
Yes,
I love
100%.
this. Okay, let's
Oh my
try.
God, it's getting heavy, Nick.
Oh God, Guga, it's your workout for today. You told me you've been training. Guga actually used to be a Taekwondo master, so he can definitely hold this tray. I'm not the one that should be
there's
holding
nothing.
this tray.
I'm just
Yeah,
joking
I know,
around.
I know.
Yeah,
You beat
exactly.
the heck out of anybody. All right, what else are you cooking?
Absolutely. Tenderloin, come on, we gotta have tenderloin.
This is where filet mignon comes from.
Exactly.
Most people don't know that, but this is where it comes from. This big old piece right here, right?
Yep. Nick, come on, bro.
And last but not least, wait, where did this go?
Seriously? Let's go.
Let's go. Start grabbing.
You grab the.
I'm gonna go with the big old tenderloin.
Yeah,
okay?
and I'm gonna go with the brisket. Oh,
This
man.
thing is a real, just a whopper. Listen to that.
I know, it's a thick piece of meat right
Okay.
there. All right, so let's begin.
This is probably one of the craziest meat experiences I've ever had in my life.
It's gonna be
You know?
very, very nice piece of
Again,
meat.
this is nice because this isn't too hard. I gave you the tough job.
Yeah, this one is no
You got
joke.
a tough job. So the brisket's already done.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what I like to do. This part is the fattiest one, so I take out the whole external fat because the intramuscular fat has too much already. This one here, we're gonna leave it because it's the leaner part.
We want this thing to cut open and just be juicing.
This is gonna be the waterfall of Wagyu right here
This
when we
thing's
cut it
just
open.
gonna
Squirt juice.
Exactly.
Okay, I love that.
That's it.
We're moving right now.
We're going, we're no joke. So picanha, to keep it traditional, I only season with salt, nothing else. No garlic powder, no black pepper, nothing. This is gonna be the best piece of meat you ever eaten, Nick, I'm telling you right now.
I'm excited.
Bro, what are you doing? You Salt Bay or something?
I am Salt Bay. And this right here is oxtail, and if you look really, really closely, you can see that little middle piece that was part of that tail. So we're gonna braise this.
Absolutely.
And it's gonna take a little while.
We can either braise it or we can pressure cook it like you say.
Okay, perfect.
It all depends on time. Okay, good. This is good.
If you haven't noticed yet, these right here are not actual cow balls. Unfortunately, it was just too last minute.
That's right. We didn't have enough time to get the real deal, but this is much better. This is a Japanese Wagyu A5 filet mignon, as good as it gets.
These are the nicest balls you are ever going to get.
Way better than any balls.
Manny, did you just point down at your own balls? Is that what you just did?
You're fired.
So we have finally prepped everything out. Google, the rest of the pieces that we had on the table, we don't have to do any prep for, so those are all ready to cook.
Correct.
And all this here is gonna be cooked in a completely different way.
Every single one of
Which
them.
I'm so excited for.
This one is broiled, this one is barbecue. We're gonna cook this one on the grill. We're gonna actually braise this one right here. This is gonna be straight up butter basting.
Everything is different.
Everything's different.
I love it. All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
We got a lot of work to do.
All right, time for the brisket, because this is what's gonna take at least 12 hours.
This is the longest
You ready?
right here. Yeah, we're gonna
Put
cook this.
baby in.
We're
Look
first.
at that grill.
We're first gonna smoke this beautiful brisket here, just to get a nice smoky flavor. That's it.
That's it?
That's it. Nice
Oh my
smoky flavor.
God, this thing is hot as hell.
It is.
Okay, we got the brisket in the smoker. Next up, because we're cooking all of these in different ways, is
Oxtail.
pressure cooking.
Yes.
Pressure cooking. And then we cover up the pressure cooker, and how long?
About an hour.
All right, now it's time to braise. This is our third different cooking method we're starting today. Pretty
Absolutely.
cool, right?
Beef cheeks.
Beef cheeks. So we're braising these because we have to let these break down.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
Right.
if not, it won't be good.
Okay. So Guga's got a bunch of other meats already cooking outside, and now we have number 4, sous vide.
Exactly.
And I have to say, sous vide is one of my favorite ways to cook meat.
Isn't it? It's perfect.
It's gonna be juicier than Manny.
And of course,
Oh,
you're juicy, Manny.
I love Guga. He gets me.
I'm gonna be sous videing them at 135 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. We got a lot going on. We got Nick back there with a petite steak going. I mean, we're going nuts over here, everybody. We're cooking every single thing like crazy.
It looks like some of our first meat is finishing cooking, and we got the pressure cooker. Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, 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 no.
Cut the camera. Time to open it up, and let's
Oh
see.
my God.
Ooh,
Take a look at that.
look at these. Can I take one out?
Absolutely.
God, it's falling off the bone.
Exactly.
Oh my. Look at this. I'm not even touching it.
That's what you want.
Are you kidding me right now? That is the bone. I put in 0 effort just now with a fork, and the bone came right off.
Zero effort. Look at that.
It's time for a little check-in on our brisket here. How do we think?
We're looking good, Nick.
Woo!
I would say another 3 hours, then we wrap it.
How long would it take if we stuck Manny in here? All right, now it's time to cook these fillets, right?
Correct.
You ready?
Yeah, we're gonna go into cast iron.
Woo! Guga, I want to see your butter-based technique now. Go. Let's see it. One of our favorite things to do when you finish cooking meat is pour that butter right over the top. You let it sit in all the aromatics, the butter, sit the garlic and the rosemary on top of it as well, the thyme, everything there, right?
It's what I like to call heaven on earth right here.
Heaven on earth, let it soak in. I think it's time for us to cut into this bad boy, huh?
I agree, I can't wait any
Our
longer.
second cut of meat. Oh, how's it look?
Look at
Perfect.
the juices. Absolutely perfect.
Baby. It's time for the brisket, yeah? We gotta check on it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's ready. Oh, I think we got plenty of smoke already.
Oh my God.
Why don't you take a look at this now,
Hit me,
Dave?
baby. Hit me. Drop it on me. Oh, baby.
I'll explain. It's jiggly, man. All right, very good. Let's focus over here, everybody. So,
Come on. You said let's
seriously?
focus.
Seriously?
Turn your ringtone off.
Take it out
We're
of my
cooking.
pocket. Take it out of my pocket.
Hey, what is flashing?
Stop it. We're gonna wrap this actually quite a few times.
Okay. So based on weight, this now goes back in the oven till tender?
Until tender, until we can poke on it and there's zero resistance. That's when it's ready. Now it's time to open the cheeks.
Whose cheeks?
Yeah, yours.
So these have been going for a while, and these are braised.
Yes, correct. Extremely tender, very fatty.
Oh my God. These look so good.
Look at it.
It's gonna make me cry. Oh, pull open the cheeks.
Look at that. This is one of my favorites.
Give him the title of the Meat Wizard.
Meat Wizard it is.
Right up there.
All
Meat
right,
Wizard.
let's go.
It's been 2 hours on the picanha.
Yep, now we gotta take them out.
Woo. Sous vide, baby. Look at that juice. Let's go flamethrower them.
Absolutely.
The picanha has a beautiful crust. It's golden brown. Slice it up.
Yeah, let's slice it up right now.
I just want to hold this up for a second and show you how perfectly cooked this is and also how it's dripping and glistening. This is perfection, Guga. I think you deserve this.
Thank you, I do.
Actually, you know.
What the hell? Oh.
Allow me, Guga. No, I'm not going to take it away.
Come on.
Allow me. This is what Salt Bay does.
Yes, correct.
That guy. Oh my god, I was thinking, what the?
That was so good, you guys. Now we're gonna cook the filet mignon A5. Now, instead of using regular fat, I recommend using Japanese Wagyu A5 fat.
Let's do it. If you remember earlier in the video, we had these presented as something different. It's the best part of what we're gonna eat today, potentially.
And the most expensive.
Is it really?
Absolutely, by far.
You gotta protect the family
Pound per
jewels.
pound.
It's already time to flip.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Was only like,
Look
again,
at that.
40 seconds.
Because there's so much good fat in there, that's what we're looking for.
I look at this piece of meat right here and I think perfect.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Nice golden brown, look at that.
Should I slice in? Right against the grain. Make sure we get a few nice cuts. I don't think meat can get any better than this, Guga. What do you think?
100% agree. The brisket is out of the oven. Now we're just gonna let it rest, but by doing that, we have to wrap it really tight.
In a towel?
This is the real deal. Why are you making fun of it?
It's so cute. No, I love that. Let's give it 2 hours. Come
2
back.
hours.
Everybody, I know this is taking quite some time, but this is our last thing we're gonna be cooking today in a different style to show you.
So for this last style, we're gonna broil on high for 10 minutes.
Let's go.
Check out all that beef butter, everybody. This is beef butter. Look at that. Use it just like regular butter.
The moment we have all been waiting for.
Exactly.
The brisket.
All right, let's unwrap
go.
this thing. Took a while. Here, you take the bottom out. Look how juicy it is.
Oh
Look
my
at this.
god, what?
It's wet. Wet.
We've wrapped it a million times.
I know.
Oh, it's soaked. It's not wet, it is soaked.
Yep.
And now for the big reveal. Gugu, that's one of the best smells I've ever experienced.
Oh.
Look at all the juice. Watch out.
Oh, it's falling. We don't want to lose that.
So I could easily just come in right now with a syringe and just fill this thing up with juice, Gugu.
Oh yeah, you better get 20 of those.
Look at this.
Absolutely.
Oh! I squirted on Guga.
What's up with that, Nick? Your syringe is not enough, Nick. Look at this.
Oh my gosh. So it's time to move the brisket over to the board.
Wow. And she
Oh my
wiggles.
God. She thick.
She thick, boy.
Oh my god.
Hey, you're cheating. I know, right? Wow, that's how you know you cooked it right. She's wiggling real good.
All right, Guga.
That was a marathon, Nick.
We finally get to sit down.
Yeah, and enjoy our labor over here.
God.
Which one you want to try first? I'm excited.
Oh my god. First of all, can I just say that that is one of the most tiring days of cooking I've ever had.
That was a marathon for real.
And I've worked in 3 restaurants now, and it's crazy in a restaurant. This was maybe worse.
It was even crazier, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, we cooked the whole cow, man.
We cooked the whole cow. We have all our favorite cuts in front of us.
Yeah, a lot of them we just ran through it because we couldn't put everything. It's gonna take too long to
You
video.
did not want to watch us cook an entire cow.
Yeah, exactly. It would take too long.
But we did.
Yeah.
And cheers.
Cheers. I already know which one is my favorite, so it's up to you.
Okay, okay. Let's try the oxtail first.
Let's go.
Very tender.
Super tender.
Extremely tender.
Ready?
So,
Cheers. Butter. Come on. That's delicious.
It reminds me a little bit of a brisket in texture. It's got,
Yeah.
I don't know, it pulls apart a little bit.
And the
really
fattiness
fatty.
the stickiness is delicious.
Tons of collagen, almost like you're eating a lamb shank.
Exactly.
Really, really good. All right, let's jump over to this.
Oh, let's go to here. You ready for this?
Baby, yeah.
Japanese. Well, you call this one something else,
These were the
right?
balls.
Really?
Ready?
A5 Wagyu.
Oh my god. You don't have to chew. In fact, you don't need teeth. to
You
eat
don't.
this.
Exactly.
When I'm 95 years old, that's gonna be what's in my fridge.
You're just gonna eat this one?
I'm gonna cook a steak. I'm gonna chew with my gums.
There's a good reason why I call this one the god of steaks.
Is that what you call it?
Yep.
Fatty
Absolutely.
as can be.
Yeah.
We're not eating giant pieces because this is a lot of meat and we've been picking throughout the day, let's be honest.
Yeah, come on.
Alright.
Okay, this one right here.
What is this?
This one is butter basting tenderloin. The butter makes such a huge
I feel
difference.
like it keeps getting better through the...
The butter just makes it so much better with a little bit of garlic and thyme. Delicious.
Good, better, even better. Let's keep going.
Oh boy.
Let me just say that I have never seen anything juicier in my entire life when it comes to food. that's not supposed to be juicy. You think a watermelon, yeah, it's gonna be juicy. But brisket, of course it's gonna be supposed to be juicy. This is like
I told you it was gonna be a waterfall.
This exceeded my expectations by far. Okay. I was kind of joking that I said it was gonna get better and better and better. I could leave right now, and
nothing else is gonna get better than this. I promise you right now.
That's a top 3 bite of meat I have ever had in my life. That's insane.
10 out of 10 is very low for this. I'm telling you right now. This one is 100 out of 10.
The flavor, the texture,
the
everything.
smokiness, not too smoky, just perfectly smoked. That's important.
The juiciness.
The juice is out of this world.
I want to try the bone marrow.
Okay.
Can we do it?
Yeah.
You go right in, you scoop it out. For those of you that haven't had bone marrow before, go to the market. You're gonna see it on the shelf. You can buy bone marrow from a lot of normal markets.
Yeah, for sure. They have it everywhere nowadays, which is a good thing.
It's just beef butter.
Come on. Come on, everybody. This is amazing.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Oh, yeah, probably.
What the heck, Guga? Can I live here?
Yeah, for sure.
What is this?
Picanha.
Picanha. We did try that already. We got a little sneaky with
Yeah.
that one, but here, let's go again.
Come on.
What this kind of reminds me of is something that you could actually eat a good amount of. Sit down and have a steak. You can't sit down and have a steak of this stuff. You can't really do that with bone marrow, obviously.
Yeah.
You can't do that with oxtail. It's too rich. This, you could have a piece. You could cut into it. You can enjoy a dinner with some potatoes on the side, with some greens, whatever you want. And that would be a great full steak to have.
That's a meal. You're absolutely right.
If you haven't tried picanha, I would go check that out because I had it before. Chef's kiss.
Amazing.
Google, if I'm being totally honest right now, I can't eat any more meat.
Yeah, me
serious?
too. Yeah.
It's something about meat that just fills you so much and it's so heavy.
And let's be honest, we've been tasting it as soon as we take a little bit of slice because it's too good. Come
The
on.
whole day.
Yeah.
Have you ever cooked for the holidays? You just realize that you sit down at the table and you're already full. Same
Exactly. Exactly.
Google, I think we should really quickly, after trying all this Wagyu from an entire Wagyu cow today, tell people what our favorite few things are. I'm gonna have you go first.
This one right here, I'll put it as number 3, even though it's one of my favorite steaks to eat, but it's a lot, very rich. Now, the picanha will definitely be number 1, so the number 2 will be the brisket. So, I am right here. 3, 2, 1.
Taking everything into consideration, my list is gonna be actually very different from yours, which I think is cool.
Okay.
Because everyone has a different taste, and that's totally fine, right?
Yes.
Number 3, I am going to go with the filet mignon, the
Filet
tenderloin.
mignon.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think there is something to be said about cooking it with that garlic and the thyme and the rosemary, that kind of stuff, with the butter, right? Doing that to it totally changes the game, so this may be a different answer if we didn't do that to this right here, but something about that all around is fantastic.
You cannot go wrong with butter, thyme, and garlic. It's perfect every time.
It's good. And anyone can go easily do that at home.
Yeah.
Number 2, I'm gonna have to jump to, I was gonna call it the balls, but it's not that.
So we agree on the second one then.
We absolutely agree on the second one. It is absolutely fantastic, except I don't agree with you on the first one.
Oh, which one is your favorite?
The first one, by far, this one absolutely,
I already know.
this one completely spanked me, unlike any way I could have thought it would, the brisket.
The brisket.
The brisket was insane. I just haven't had anything like that before.
I know. I agree with you 100%. See, this is the thing with this cut of meat. If you grow up eating it, you crave it, you know the taste. This will never be beaten for me.
I don't know what it was about the brisket. It's one of those things that there's a good amount of effort that goes into it, except not that much in a weird way, because you're letting it do most of the work itself. But it seems to require equipment that a lot of people won't have. It takes just kind of a level of skill and knowledge that most people haven't learned. And
Yeah,
now
it takes a little bit of skill to do this one perfectly, yeah.
But now I've at least been able to watch you and learn about it, understand it. So I love that.
Yeah, it's good.
I cannot believe that. I mean, that's like one of those things that I will remember being in this studio garage, I don't know what you call it, and trying that for the first time, and the second time, and the third time.
This one you will never forget, absolutely.
Guga, I cannot thank you enough for letting me not only come into your house, to your studio today, but also to take, I don't even want to say how much Wagyu.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Guga genuinely is one of the nicest guys you will ever meet, but also perhaps more importantly to some, he's the king of all meats, king of all steaks.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
If you haven't seen Guga's channel before, which I'm sure many of you already have, definitely go out and check it out right now. There's a video of me on there that we posted pretty recently too.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I think you and I can both go into hibernation for a little while.
I think so. Yeah, we did it good.
Today I'm cooking 10 levels of Wagyu. I'll be cooking the rarest Wagyu in the world, this $500 Wagyu tomahawk, this $100 Wagyu burger, and so much more. Wagyu mainly comes from 3 different countries: America, Australia, and Japan. And as we get to levels 8, 9, and 10 today, we'll only be using Japanese Wagyu, the best of the best. And we're catching up to Gordon, so don't forget to subscribe.
For level 1, we're just gonna pan sear some American Wagyu. Since this is level 1, we're just gonna cube it up to cook it the easiest possible way. We're gonna season it quite quite simple. A little bit of salt and pepper is good enough. And now we just pan sear them. Once it's ready, we'll just flip them.
Even though we're only on level 1 right now, this is still gonna be melting in your mouth, but it'll be nothing like what we're gonna taste later today.
This is just the beginning.
I'm desperate to get moving on to level 2, so let's taste.
That's good.
For level 2, we're gonna be cooking on a hot Himalayan salt rock.
And we're gonna be using an Australian Wagyu filet mignon.
But first, we need to heat this to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. This has been in the oven for over an hour, and at this point, it's white hot. This right here is an Australian Wagyu filet mignon from my friends at the Wagyu shop.
We're gonna season it with a good amount of salt and of course, black pepper. We have to move fast while it's still hot, so now we're gonna sear. Oh yeah, we're getting a nice crust. Let's take a good look and see how well we got. Oh yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. Now I wanna cut it in small bites, and as you can see, it's still nice and juicy.
We're gonna serve this one right off the hot stone.
Oh, not hot, but it is amazing.
I cannot believe that this is only level 2.
I agree, so good. For level 3, we're gonna be making Wagyu sushi, and for that, we're gonna be using Japanese Wagyu A5 New York strip.
To begin, Guga's gonna season our sushi rice while I cut this Wagyu at a nice bias so that we can make nice pieces that'll lay over the top of our sushi.
So Nick told me he's a professional sushi chef. I'm not. I actually am terrible at it. I like to learn.
I actually did prepare sushi for the world's heaviest sumo wrestler, who thoroughly enjoyed my traditional Japanese meal.
One more, please. This one.
One more. I'll go make some. Once our Wagyu strips are done, we'll begin to prepare our nigiri. I'll handle the rice, and Google will start laying the meat down on the top.
Gotta say, Nick, you did an amazing job. They look really pretty.
Our nigiri does look beautiful, but now it's time to torch.
We're gonna keep this medium rare, but we want a nice, beautiful sear on this crust to make an incredible nigiri.
To finish, we'll paint each of our Wagyu nigiri with just a light touch of soy sauce.
And now we are ready to eat.
This right here is a level 3 bite.
Cheers. That's amazing.
We're moving up to level 4 to make a beef tartare with this A5 Wagyu filet mignon.
Let's go. A Japanese Wagyu A5 filet mignon has the most incredible marbling. The ratio between fat and meat is just perfect. We're gonna start by cutting it to 1/4-inch cubes.
And while Guga does that, I'm gonna start chopping up the smaller things that we're gonna be putting in our tartare to give it some nice flavor. I used to have to chop a lot of chives in my first restaurant job, and if I could recommend any technique that's gonna help you learn knife skills, this is the one. To make our tartare, we'll start in a bowl with 4 quail eggs, a nice squeeze of lemon juice, and a little squeeze of spicy mustard.
Now we whisk, and you hit me with the rest, Nick.
We'll go in with a little bit of parsley, some nice minced shallots, a few finely chopped chives, some minced capers, our Wagyu beef, a good shaving of lemon zest, a little drizzle of olive oil, a nice pinch of salt, and a little black pepper.
To finish it off, I'll first lay down the mold.
Then in goes our incredible Wagyu tartare. Let's hope it holds together.
And to finish, the perfect quail egg yolk.
And now it's time to eat.
Cheers. For level 5, we're gonna be using sous vide for these incredible Wagyu short ribs. They have a fantastic marbling, and as you can see, these little white spectacles, this is what I'm talking about. And we're gonna season them with salt and pepper, a generous amount, because they're short rib, you know, they can take it. Plus, on top of that, since they're gonna be cooking sous vide, they can take the salt as it's brine as it's cooking. 3 in each bag, beautiful.
Now one of the most satisfying things in all of cooking, vacuum sealing the meat so we can toss it in the sous vide bath.
Perfect.
This goes into the sous vide bath for about 8 hours until it's cooked. Ow, that is hot.
Ah, I got burned.
These short ribs have been going all day.
As you can see, we render a lot of fat, and we gotta get rid of that. So I slice it open, and we drain all of it out.
That right there is liquid gold.
Put this on toast, and it's gonna be the best butter of your life.
So far, none of the short ribs were able to stay on the bone. That's how tender it's become. To finish these off, we're gonna bring them outside to the grill. You can tell how long this video is taking by the fact that we're only on level 5, and it's pitch black out.
For a quick sear,
we've got a beautiful sear, and these short ribs are extremely tender. Just look how easy that breaks apart. But I want to move on to level 6 because we've got some crazy things coming. For level 6, we're making Wagyu ribs, and Guga woke up really early this morning when I was still asleep and prepped them.
when Nick was dreaming about ribs, I was making them. So I put them on the smoker at 275 degrees Fahrenheit, and they've been cooking there for about 3 to 4 hours. They're fully cooked right now. They're extremely tender. These are back ribs. So all we're gonna do now is wrap them up and let them rest because they're fully cooked. Now that they took a nice nap, we're gonna take them out and dredge them in barbecue sauce.
So far, by the looks of these, I'd probably call them more of a level 4 rib. This is what's gonna bring them up to level 6. We'll soak up a bunch of our barbecue sauce, and then onto the ribs it goes. I like to think of this as mopping the floor, but with barbecue sauce. It's pretty fun.
Let's do a quick taste because it's time to move on to the next level.
Whoa, Guga, that is crazy. Contrary to what most people think, ribs are not supposed to fall off the bone.
I agree. A little bite is perfect.
For level 7, we're making a Wagyu burger, but not just any Wagyu burger. We're making a Juicy Lucy.
A Juicy Lucy is a stuffed cheeseburger with the cheese inside of the burger instead of on top.
So if you think of a chocolate lava cake, we're going for that, but instead with a cheeseburger.
In order for the cheese to melt very, very fast, I made some cubes.
Give me that cube, boy!
My theory is that it's gonna get really, really melty. And then we cover it up and tighten up the edges. And the Juicy Lucy is now ready.
This right here is not easy to cook, and that is one of the reasons we've picked it as level 7. I wouldn't say it's as hard to make as the brisket you'll see shortly, but it's not easy to do without the cheese bursting out before you're done. The key to keeping this cheese in is gonna be to get a hard and fast crust. Once we've gotten a nice crust on the bottom, carefully and quickly flip. To finish off this burger, we need the butter base. This will help us cook our burger the rest of the way through. To finish our burger, bun,
Lettuce,
then our burger,
tomato,
some of our homemade sauce,
and the bun.
and now for the moment of truth.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably the juiciest burger that I've ever seen.
Cheers, brother. That's a juicy burger.
For level 8, we're heading out to the grills because we've got this Wagyu tomahawk to cook. I'll season it up real quick with some nice salt and some black pepper. Down onto the charcoal goes our tomahawk, and it's time to sear. I will say one of my favorite cuts of meat is the tomahawk because this cut that Guga's doing right here is a ribeye.
And here is the reason why, because that is the eye of the rib.
After this, we do have a brisket that's been cooking all day, so stick around to see if that thing squirts, because sometimes they do.
You should say, stick around and see if she's a squirter.
No. We are cooking today with the king of all steaks, so naturally he did cook it to a perfect medium rare.
The only way to have steaks.
This is gonna be a good bite. Wow, Guga.
This is gonna be better because it's the cap.
Aw.
Try this one.
I feel like there's more juice than steak.
Wait until you see the brisket.
For level 9, we got our hands on a 15-pound Wagyu brisket. But they do take a while to cook, so once again, Guga woke up very early this morning, trimmed it all the way down so we had a nice, beautiful looking brisket, seasoned it all over with salt and pepper, and tossed it in the smoker with some hickory wood.
All right, we got the brisket ready. It has been smoked for 4 hours. We got the color we want. However, it's not fully cooked yet. We must tenderize it, and for that, we're gonna wrap it up. What do you think, Nick? So a brisket is something very, very special already, just cooking it and cooking it properly. But when you got a Wagyu, it's just extra special because the amount of marbling there is in this thing, just wait.
Sorry.
You're all right, Nick. Nick is so passing out because of the smell is intoxicating.
It's a pepper.
Come on, Nick.
I'm good.
So now you see I wrapped it really tight like a baby. And we're gonna put it back in the smoker. When I say that I've cooked a lot of Wagyus in my life, I mean it. I've cooked every single thing you can think about that is Wagyu. And even though trying all the Wagyus out there, brisket is really, really tough to beat. Into the smoker, it goes at 300 degrees Fahrenheit until we get nice and tender.
After the brisket spent 3 hours in the oven and then 4 hours resting, here it is.
Even though it's resting for such a long time, she's still pretty hot. The question is, will she spray? Let's find out. Onto the cutting board, along with a little bit of extra juice.
Like I said, last time we cooked the brisket, things got a little messy. Oh! I squirted on Guga.
What's up with that, Nick?
I suspect this will be no different.
Okay, as you can see, she wiggle. Let's cut it open. Oh, she's real juicy. I'll cut into a few slices to see if it's the perfect brisket.
The first test is whether or not we got a smoke ring, which I think we did. Next up, the bend test. It should be able to drape over my fingers without breaking, and just like that, it does. And finally, it should open and close almost like an accordion. And as you can see, our level 9 Wagyu brisket does. It is extremely tender.
Cheers. Oh, that's the winner.
But wait, Guga, there's one level left.
This is gonna be hard to beat.
And finally, after a long day of cooking Wagyu, we've reached level 10. This is olive Wagyu, the rarest beef in the world. There are only 2,000 olive Wagyu cows in the world, and only a few cattle are harvested each month. Their feed consists of dried, pressed olive peels, which gives this beef its incredible flavor. And no, this is not a joke, it has even won the Wagyu Olympics. In fact, Guga, didn't you compete in the Wagyu Olympics?
I did. I came dead last, baby. I'm very excited to taste this once again. I've tasted before, and this is as good as it gets.
The marbling is just about as perfect as you'll ever see on a piece of Wagyu.
And it cuts like butter. This meat is so special, we gotta keep it real simple. Just a little bit of salt and pepper is good enough.
This is gonna be a satisfying sizzle. And for number 2, it's already time to flip. Down this goes, onto our plate, but we're not finished yet. Naturally, we also had to get some Royal Eccentric caviar, which is also perfect. They say not to use metal spoons with caviar, but it ships in a metal tin. I'll take a nice big scoop of caviar for each piece, and onto the Wagyu it goes. This right here is a combination of all the bests of the best. And we'll finish with this almost 24 karat gold leaf. Guga, you couldn't seriously, we have the most expensive Wagyu in the world. You had to get 23.75 karat gold. All jokes aside, gold adds absolutely nothing. Just look at any one of Salt Bay's restaurants.
Everybody betrayed me. I fed up with this world.
But for aesthetic purposes, we're gonna use it today anyways. And that right there is a bite of the best Wagyu in the entire world.
Level 10 is no joke, but enough talking. Let's give it a try. Cheers, buddy.
Wow.
That is a bite to remember.
That's definitely the best Wagyu bite I've ever had in my life. I'm glad I had the Wagyu master here with me today.
This is delicious, everybody.
Go check out Guga's channel, link in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe so we can catch Gordon.
See you on the next one, everybody. Manny, get out of my kitchen! Manny, you're fired.
This is Michael, a Wagyu cow worth so much money that he has his own security guard. In this video, we're gonna see where Wagyu comes from, how it's auctioned and sold for millions of dollars each day, and how it's eventually broken down and served at restaurants. And I came to Kobe for a reason. All Kobe beef comes from Wagyu cattle, but not all Wagyu beef is Kobe. If Wagyu is your average car, Kobe is a Ferrari. Just for some size comparison, I am 6'3", and this cow is almost as tall as me. I didn't know that they could be that big. I would not want to mess with this guy. Hey, buddy. Usunaga-san, thank you for inviting me to your farm. This man here is responsible for raising some of the most expensive cattle on earth. And when he started, he had just 50 cows, but now he has over 500 cows. And this is just one of the many barns that they have here on the farm.
Wa in Wagyu means Japanese, so Wagyu means Japanese cow.
Could we start by going and seeing the baby cows?
Yes.
Okay,
let's go.
Let's go. So these are the baby babies.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. They have a jacket on because they're so cold. So how much do all these babies weigh right now?
25 kilograms to 30 kilograms.
So how long will it take for these ones to get to the medium-sized cows over there?
About 3 to 4 months. They gain about 1 kilogram per day.
Wow, they're growing really fast.
Yeah, they grow about 10 times faster than humans.
How old is this cow right here?
1 week.
If this cow right here, that's already this size, is only 1 week old, imagine how big the ones we're gonna see later in this video that are fully grown are gonna be. There's so many myths online, I feel like, about Wagyu. Some say that they're massaged every single day. I've also heard that some get Mozart played to them while they sleep at night. And I've even heard that a lot of them are fed sake and different alcohol and they're drunk all the time. Is any of that true?
Let's find out.
So these cows now are good size bigger than the babies. Like there's a big difference all of a sudden in the size. How old are these cows and what's happening now?
Well, here the cows are about 1 year old to 3 years old. And this is the phase where we feed them.
How much food do they eat?
They eat about 8 kilos of feed per day.
How do you know which ones are gonna have that really beautiful marbling? Because when I think of Wagyu, and when anyone thinks of Wagyu, they think of that amazing intramuscular fat, all the fat between the muscle, and that's what makes Wagyu so special. How do you know which cows are gonna have that good marbling?
I take a look at the area with the sirloin, which is on the back. That gives me an idea of the quality of the meat.
You can just tell just by looking.
Yes, once you get used to it.
He's a genius. This just shows a scale of how wide and how big one of these cows is compared to a human. He isn't really leading the cow right now. The cow is sort of leading him and he's just crossing his fingers that it doesn't freak out. How big are these cows? How much do they weigh?
Tajima cows weigh about 700 kilograms.
Wow, 700 kilos. How much is that in pounds?
It's like 1,400.
What's the biggest cow you've ever raised or seen?
The heaviest we had weighed 950 kilograms.
Can we see how you make their food?
Let's go see it.
It smells very fermented here. Is this maybe the alcohol or sake that we were talking about earlier?
Sake, beer, whiskey, meeting, soy sauce.
So there's 5 different alcohols in the feed. Are the cows getting drunk?
If you give them too much, they'll get drunk.
Have you ever made one drunk?
I've never done it.
No?
They go to sleep.
So they don't really get drunk. I guess they just knock out right away. So this one right here is a sake feed, mirin, which I use for like a sweet cooking wine. It's actually one of my favorite ingredients in the kitchen. And this is a sugarcane feed. It smells like a mix of raisins and fig Newtons. And this feed here is from beer. Actually, it smells really good. Kind of a gentle beer scent. This one is whiskey. These cows literally just seem to be sitting here all the time and just eating. And I guess that's because that's their full-time job and that's what they do. That's how they're getting as big as they're getting. Do you ever eat it?
No.
No?
No.
Would I be okay if I ate it?
No, you can't eat that.
All these cows have these tags on them. What do the tags mean?
All cows raised in Japan, not just Wagyu, have these tags with a 10-digit tracking number. You can use that number to look up all sorts of information like where the cow was born and raised.
Do the cows get excited when people walk around? They're all causing this commotion now. Their heads are all sticking out when we're standing here. Do they have personalities?
Yeah, they get interested by the different smells and the different people that they haven't met before.
I can't stop watching these guys drinking. They're fighting over the water.
It's natural spring water. The water they give to Wagyu cattle is the same water that humans can drink. I think that's the secret recipe.
So it's really high quality water.
Yeah.
Now that we've seen a farm and how Wagyu cows are raised, the next step is an auction where Wagyu cows are sold to buyers from all around the world. Nobody can get into these auctions unless you know Yamamoto-san.
Hello.
So we are entering the auction room. Whoa! So this is where the auction happens.
Yeah.
And the cows are gonna eventually be coming one by one.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so, what, I can't. How what the f am I supposed to do with these? Do I look okay?
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
Very good on you, yeah.
I feel like you're lying.
Yeah, no, very good on you.
This should show you how big some of these cows are when they come by. Like, they're hanging down to here, yeah?
Yeah.
So this right here,
yeah.
This is the trophy for today. The best cattle of the day. Only #1 gets this award. Do you think we can try to win it?
It's really hard to win, but we will try to get this cattle for today.
We're just gonna have to pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be bidding against some pretty big people in Japan here.
Yes, sure.
Let's do this.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the carcass room for the next.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Oh, so new shoes. New shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, over my hat.
Yeah.
Okay. Like this?
Yeah, like that. So this is a very most hygienic side house in Japan.
Well, now I see why I have to wear all this.
I hope you fit in. Yeah.
You hope I fit? I know. Nothing in Japan fits me. I'm too big. Another thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Protect your head.
Okay. Anything else? Oh my, this is crazy.
And finally, you put this one.
Okay. And now we can see the cows.
Yes.
What is this?
This is an air shower. You can just come inside.
I'm scared. Oh, it's so cold. Holy cow. These are massive. Look at the size of me next to these cows. These are the cows that we're about to see at today's auction. They're massive.
Yeah, this is 640 kilograms.
Look at the marbling on this beef. It's unbelievable. They all have different awards, certifications, different stamps on them. Every carcass has its own identifying things for people to know how good the quality is. The floor is also so slippery because there's Wagyu fat everywhere. It's the most expensive floor you could possibly find. So here's how it works. When grading beef, there are two main factors. The first is how much meat can actually be taken from the cow, and the other one is how good the marbling of the fat is. The scale goes from A to C and 1 to 5. So the worst possible cut of beef would get a C1, the lowest grade you can get. And the best of the best of the best would get this stamp right here, A5. So they cut all of these open so you can grade it and see.
This is the tackle part, and this is tackle part.
This is the one that we want to get today.
Yeah.
It's called the reward cattle, and there's only one every single day. Right here is the A5 stamp, so this is the best grade you can possibly get. It's a beautiful, beautiful, huge cow. Wow. Look at that. Why is this so good?
The body is very wide and big. This cattle contains lots of beef as well, and also eating is very, very good.
And everybody's gonna be trying to win this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be very, very hard.
It's time to go to the auction. People are starting to walk in. My heart's starting to beat faster. My competitive juices are starting to flow. I want to win the #1 cow, and I want to get that trophy. Do you want to win?
Yeah, of course.
How does this work? You press the buttons to bid?
During the auction, like everybody pushing just this button, 1 yen is rising every time. But if you wanna get this carcass very, very specifically this one, and then you just put the 100 yen, the 50 yen, 10 yen.
This is when you want to ball out.
Yeah.
Now that you've told me how this works, I have a strategy for the bidding. I'm gonna put this one in one hand.
Okay.
I'm gonna be clicking this as fast as I possibly can.
Okay.
And then in my other hand, I'm gonna go like this.
Okay. Then you win every cattle.
The first cows are coming in. My heart is beating so fast right now. I'm nervous.
Be ready.
2200. There it goes. The trophy cow today is number 12. We're almost there. Tell me when. Tell me when. Right now?
Yeah, continue.
All right, hold it. My heart's beating so fast. Wow, it's going high. It's going so high. Oh, it's going to be so expensive. It's going so high. We got it. We got it. Oh, nice. Oh, good, good. There's our cow. I don't want to celebrate because I think everyone's mad that we won.
You won?
We won, yeah. That's good. Oh, wow, thank you.
1, 2, 3, yatta!
This is the cow that we won, and look how incredible that is. He is so much bigger than me.
You did it.
You did it. Our cow is now going to be processed and sent along to a butcher who's going to break it down for us. Only Wagyu has kindly allowed me to take the entire tenderloin to give away to 10 of you. So comment your Instagram handle down below in the video and make sure you're following me so I can message you if you win, and 10 of you are going to get a beautiful filet mignon from our exact cow that we won today. So we are now here at the butcher. This is the place where they take the meat, they break it down, and then they send it to restaurants to get it cooked, which we'll go to next. What is your name?
Oniko-chan.
Nice to meet you. So he's the meat artist, and that's why we've come to the best butcher in the game. Do I look good? This is what you get if you're in the Kobe Beef Association. It's so heavy. What's his name?
Kobe beef.
So this is their freezer where they keep a lot of their meats, and this is our cow that we got today. This is from the same area as where the flat iron steak comes from, and he's going to cut it down into a beautiful platter of usable cuts of beef. First, it looks like he's removing a lot of the fat off the top of this meat, because this has a lot of fat. He's very quick and efficient with the knife. You can also see that he's really making an effort here as he cuts to not waste any meat from this cow. It's incredible to watch. So now is when the Wagyu is really starting to look good. We're getting down to those beautiful parts on the inside here. It's like a long train of Wagyu. Do you like to eat Wagyu?
Wagyu 大好きです。毎日。
Munch, munch, munch. Okay, so now you're about to see why they call him the meat artist. Most butchers will just break down the Wagyu just like that, and then they'll package it up. But he is literally an artist with how he treats the Wagyu, and he does something a little extra. And it looks like he's using Wagyu beef tallow, some fat, to prop up the edges of the flour. Wow. It's insane. Now what's gonna happen is he's going to cut it down again and show us yet another presentation that he can create with this same cut of our Wagyu beef. I love how with Wagyu, every time you cut it, it makes a new art piece. I have no idea what he's gonna be making this time, but I know it's probably gonna be something really cool again. He's super, super careful and really specific. Wow. That is beautiful. Now you see why they call him the meat artist. Okay, now we're moving on to this giant cross section of our cow here. What is your name?
Shacho-san.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So this piece of beef has ribeye, sirloin, and tenderloin all in one. So he has a lot to work with here. And he's gonna start by deboning the whole thing. We have to remove all of those thick bones. The way that he's using the knife here is very surgical. It's so precise. He is tracing around every single bone. So what he's working on right now is trying to pull off the first bone. And if you recognize it, it's sort of a T-bone. You'd have the tenderloin on one side and the strip would be on the other side. The cool thing here to me is you can sort of see that the butcher has all these different choices when they go to break down your beef. Right now, he's pulling out those bones that would normally be left in a T-bone or a porterhouse steak. He's just pulling all of those out right now because we already took off that tenderloin. And then on the bottom side of these is gonna be left this nice clean strip. They work the knife in every possible way in doing this. They hold it in their hand in different ways. A lot of people talk about how Wagyu cuts like butter, but they're not just sitting here slicing easily through this Wagyu. They are masters of their craft with the knife. It's crazy to watch. So something's happening now. He's going to cut this whole big piece here in half. So this is really cool for me to see the meat getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Wow. That's beautiful. Look at the difference here between the fat that's on the outside and then all of this beautiful marbled fat that we think of when we think of Wagyu. So now we've got a different portion here of our cow. We're gonna see him cut this into some blocks. So one really cool thing here is we have so many cuts of the cow that we're able to play with and work with here. It should just show you how big one of these cows really is and how much meat comes from one of these massive, massive Wagyu cows. Although you do pay a hefty price for it. Every single piece of what he's cut here has a completely different pattern on it, which I think is one of the most amazing parts about Wagyu. This is the last thing we're doing before we get to cook and eat some Wagyu at a restaurant. This is a giant machine that's gonna slice this Wagyu very thin. So it goes into the machine. Wow, this is intense. Okay, here we go. Whoa! That's not what I expected to just happen. This is so fast. Look at that, it's the thinnest piece of Wagyu. How much is one of these? Could I buy one? $30,000, okay. All right, never mind. So now that we're finished, they're just packing all of this up. Although I wish we could just sit together and eat all this Wagyu together, but it's gonna go off to different customers now. Thank you, arigato gozaimasu. I'm bringing this to the restaurant. It is time to go eat some Wagyu. This is Wagyu Mafia, a members-only Wagyu restaurant in Tokyo, Japan. And this is Chef Hama. He's known as the Prince of Kobe beef.
Nick-san!
I brought you a gift.
Oh my God, where'd you get it from?
How are you?
Very good, no?
Can we cook it?
It's Wagyu Mafia. Ikimashou.
Chef, you are the Wagyu expert, so I am not cooking today. I'm gonna step back and let you do your magic. Sound good?
Right on, Nick-san. Today, I'm going to cook 3 levels of Kobe beef. Level 1, Wagyu sushi. Itterashai! We have all the most amazing ingredients in the world here. This is my favorite sea urchin from Hokkaido, Japan. The best flavor, so sweet. We also have Royal Osetra caviar, fresh wasabi, and of course, our Kobe beef. The process to make this one is quick. You have to be gentle when shaping the rice, which we cook with sake for extra flavor, and the nigiri comes together quickly. To finish, you brush it with 8-year barrel-aged soy sauce and top with the sea urchin and caviar. Nick-san, your sushi is ready. One bite.
One bite?
Pick it up from my hand.
I've never done omakase right out of the chef's hand. Holy
Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
At all.
You get a little soy sauce sea urchin right away because it hits the roof of your mouth.
At the very end of the taste, Kobe beef comes after.
And it's so nice to have the Kobe beef just raw and delicate like that. So level 2 and level 3, you're gonna have a tough time.
Let's skip it. Level 2 is Kobe beef yakiniku, which means barbecue. For the meat, I'm using the Kobe beef tongue. They're impossible to get since there is just one per cow. Breaking down is similar to filleting a fish, just like removing the skin from the fish. So you see dimple on the tongue. This is a sign where you cut it. And this here is all fat, and fat is flavor. This is the best part of Kobe beef tongue, one of the most expensive tongue in the world. 300 grams, easily $2,000. We're going to cut it into small pieces like this and then gently score it on both sides for some textures. We have already prepared the Japanese charcoal. You want it to be a nice gray color when it's time to cook. This is Kobe beef back fat, which we use to oil the grill. Listen to that nice sizzle. Oh. Grill for 1 minute each side and finish it off with a bit of salt and ready to eat. Let's go!
Level 2, let's see. It looks good. And it smells even better than it looks. It's just the right amount of chewy and still soft and fatty.
It has a little bit of crunchiness.
Level 2 is gonna be hard to beat.
Level 3, Wagyu Katsando. I'm going to use this special $3,000 Kobe beef tenderloin. This is one of the most difficult cuts to find anywhere in the world. First, I'm going to carefully cut it into these small portions. The marbling on this beef is incredible. Then we'll roll it in our special Japanese flour and then the egg and finish with our homemade breadcrumbs, which is made from Japanese milk bread. The size of this, the thickness, 2.5 minutes. いきましょうか. We'll fry it until it looks nice and golden brown like this. This is our sauce. It has 15 different ingredients. The main ingredients are soy sauce and rice vinegar, but the rest is a secret. To assemble the sandwich, place down the beef and close the sandwiches. And now I will trim off all the edges. Wow! And I finish by slicing through the middle. Nick-san, level 3 is ready. Come on!
I was drooling back there watching this whole time.
Oh, level 3, we need to have a gold. Yes.
I feel bad even eating this. Look at this.
Then don't eat it.
All right.
Okay, so this is a Kobe beef,
Okay.
Chateaubriand.
Okay.
Entire cow, you can only get 10 pieces.
Words cannot really describe that bite.
Even though I create it, I still love it every day. Well done. Oh, one more thing.
Yeah?
You ready for dessert?
No. This is the #1 rated steak in the entire world, and we're gonna compare it to this ultra rare Wagyu that costs $100 per bite, this futuristic steakhouse that turns meat into cotton candy and everything in between. And we're starting here in Turkey at Salt Bay's restaurant, Nusret Steakhouse. You ready?
Always.
Tell me about the grill.
This is iron. We use only charcoal.
This is gonna give incredible flavor to the meat.
This is the giant tomahawk, Turkish Wagyu. 4 weeks, dry age.
Look at the incredible red, vibrant color of this beef, and the streaks of fat in there, that beautiful marbling.
Most important, you must hear this voice.
You want even contact across the whole tomahawk on the grill so it gets even char marks, but this is heavy, so it doesn't need you to press it. Obviously, we don't have any browning in the center there, but look at these lines. He flips it sideways for the crosshatch pattern when you get that kind of crisscross on a steak. In addition to the tomahawk, he's also got a beautiful Chateaubriand. This is a tenderloin, but it's the best part of the tenderloin. That's a good sound. Looking good, Salt Bay.
When you cook, must be more gentle.
Look at the contrast between the golden brown crust on the edge there and that beautiful red on the inside. Now he's laying it on its side to render some of the fat on the edges off. And look at this. I just noticed his chain is the exact same shape of the steak we're cooking right now. Okay, he's letting me go for a try here. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Push it down a little bit. Quickly get that very, very top part. Isn't this crazy? Me and Salt Bay used to have beef. Now we're cooking beef together. Look at the perfect pattern that he got on the tenderloin.
This is the art.
He's right. Cooking is a patient process sometimes. We've been standing here for maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Every minute is important. Salt Bay.
Every few seconds, he spins the steak just a little bit. And what that's doing is making sure that the whole steak gets even contact across the grill at all times. He's moved it around so much that it almost has a fully even crust. This is the longest I've ever seen a steak cooked on the grill. And it looks amazing.
Almost medium.
How do you know?
Last 29 years, I cook every day.
Looks like it's done. It's time for the presentation of the steak, the moment you've all been waiting for. Look at that. Cooked to perfection. The biggest bite of meat I've ever had. That's the color right there that you want in any steak. To see how much care he puts into cooking it and then to actually taste it right away after that. It's juicy. Look at that drip. It's flavorful, perfectly salted, unbelievable. I've always wanted to see him do this. This is so satisfying. Oh, listen to those crispy chicharrones in there. It's one of the best sounds I think I've heard from food. And if you think this looks good, just wait until you see some of the steakhouses coming later in this video. Listen. 3, 2, 1. Salt Bay! Oh my God, with the chicharron in there?
Salt Bay.
Can I ask you to just try my steak seasoning? Okay. This is my Osmo steak seasoning. It's available at Walmart, and in addition to the steak seasoning, I've got chicken, seafood, vegetable, and all-purpose flaky salt. Since you're the king of steak, I'd love to see if this is Salt Bay approved. I'm kind of nervous. He's keeping me in suspense here.
Gorgeous.
You like it?
Very fresh, tasty.
Salt Bay. One of the best bites of steak I've ever had. Our next stop is a Michelin-starred steakhouse called Cut, and here we're gonna try the rarest steak in the entire world, Japanese Kobe beef. It's so rare that each cow actually gets its own official birth certificate. Oh, and this is my friend Eric. He's gonna be eating with me.
How's it going, guys?
Why would you wear Crocs? I told you multiple times this was a fancy restaurant.
You can take the man out of the Crocs, but you can't take the Crocs out of the man, am I right?
I feel like I'll regret introducing you to the head chef, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
Nick, nice to see you.
How's it going?
How are you?
I am looking for the dollar menu.
Not here. This is what we're gonna be enjoying today. This is the real deal Kobe beef. All Kobe beef is Wagyu, but not all Wagyu is Kobe beef. So it has to meet a certain criteria to be eligible to sell it. You have to have this certification. It's about $100 an ounce. I've had people cry after they've taken a bite of this.
What are we about to experience?
You know a regular steak, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Well, if you jump a few levels above that, you get Wagyu. Very fancy Japanese beef. But then above that, there's this very small amount of absolutely perfect Wagyu that qualifies as Kobe beef. And this is considered
considered the best steak on the planet.
It's like Big Mac, but 10% better or something like that.
No. What I love so much about Wagyu is every single cut is different, like a snowflake. One of the other things that makes it so expensive is you're trimming off so much of these different parts to get to the core of the Wagyu. This one little piece right here is about $25 worth of Kobe. Look at it compared to my head.
What are you gonna do with this?
The cool thing about Kobe beef, you can do whatever you want to it, and it's not gonna suck.
So are you thinking like chicken McNuggets? The whole space back here is hot. Like, it's not just this, it's like the entire kitchen is like scalding hot. It makes me angry back here.
I just want to do a quick challenge and see which one of you can hold your hand over the grill longer. Eric versus Chef. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm gonna have burns from that.
I can't feel anything.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Anything.
All right, let's cook. Where do we start?
This is a little bit of rendered Wagyu fat.
Wow.
So not to change the flavor of the beef at all.
See how he's seasoning from high up, guys? This is how you're supposed to season. Kobe goes on. The smell is insane.
Do you feel like a high level of responsibility cooking this meat?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that you cannot mess up.
You're saying that to me like I would mess this up.
You absolutely would. What's so cool about how they cook this Kobe here at this restaurant is that they're getting the flavor and the grill marks from the charcoal and the wood over here, and then they're moving it over to a plancha to cook it the rest of the way through in a different way.
I like it a little past medium rare.
It looks so good.
You might shed a tear or two. This is gonna be the best steak you've ever had in your life. You guys are in for a treat. We're just gonna serve it simply with a little bit of salt.
The plating is awesome, super simple.
Let's do this. Cheers. I actually can't believe that. That's insane, dude. That was the best bite of food I've ever had in my life.
This might be crazy, but I want to try with my new seasoning. Our slogan is that Osmo makes everything better. This might be one rare exception where I don't think it's gonna be the case.
That's insane, dude.
It's fun.
The only thing I feel like could make it better is some ketchup.
Let's go to the next steakhouse before I get mad. Our next restaurant is a Brazilian steakhouse called Max and Guga's Meatery. Since my friend Guga is Brazilian and Max cooks meat almost every single day, I asked them to open a one-day restaurant just for this video. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Heard so much about you.
This is quite possibly the most exclusive steakhouse in the world.
It is as exclusive as it gets. Max, fix it, please. Yeah, just slap it. What you were saying, sir? What were you saying?
Before we eat, could you take me around the kitchen?
Absolutely. So here we have a few skewers ready to go for you, sir. Picanha, skirt steak.
Pineapple, some beautiful Brazilian sausages. What is this?
Filet mignon and bacon.
We have the filet mignon and bacon, and of course, we have the Wagyu.
But not any Wagyu. These are the most exquisite Wagyus in the world because each single one of them is an experiment. Max, can you do it properly, please? Are you all right?
I'm good, I'm good.
Okay, good. But as I was saying, each one of these Wagyus are experiments from my videos and only for you. Max, you begin with this one, please. So a generous amount of salt in all of our skewers. Do you know what this cut is?
Picanha.
That is correct. Brazilian's #1 steak. Picanha, we only use salt and nothing else, but the other two, we're actually gonna use a little bit of black pepper, which is totally fine.
I'm still a chef in training at this Brazilian steakhouse, but somehow today you've left me with the best of the best, the Wagyu.
That is correct. Don't mess it up, Max. How do you like your steaks?
I actually prefer medium.
What?
I'm serious, I like medium.
Get out! We got our grill nice and hot. Let's put them in.
Why don't we start with the picanha? It's the biggest.
Yes, and the best. Picanha is in, followed by...
Beautiful flank steak.
That's correct.
Outside skirt steak.
That is correct, sir.
We have our bacon-wrapped filet mignon.
And the end?
Sausages.
Yes. Voila. Now close this up because we're not done yet.
It is time for our beautiful pineapple dessert. Giving our pineapple a really nice sear from both sides. Charcoal at the bottom, torch over the top. We're cooking from every angle.
Don't burn it, Max.
Not bad.
Now that we got a little bit of char, we'll sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon and sugar. And now we'll let it cook for a little bit longer, caramelizing everything, and it's gonna be amazing. No, what are you doing? We gotta caramelize it nice and slow. Good things comes with patience, Nick.
Oh, Guga!
Let's check in on our meat. Oh, okay, we're getting there.
Color is looking great on that skirt steak. All those juices just basting itself.
That man is in for a treat.
He is.
Let's cook you some Wagyu, sir. Straight from Japan, several different gradings. I just wanna ask one more time, how do you like your steaks?
Medium.
And the key is to get a nice, beautiful golden brown crust. That type of caramelization is the one I like. You go sit down, sir. You go enjoy it.
We're ready?
Yes.
We're ready.
Now we serve. Here we got some picanha, sir.
We have some beautiful flank steak.
Nice and medium, just the way you like it, sir.
Wow, that looks cooked really well. Oh my gosh.
Sorry about that.
You're gonna poke me in the eye.
I apologize.
The picanha is really good.
Max. Lower it here to his table.
So unprofessional.
There you go, and then put it out. Yeah.
Yes, chef.
You just upgraded, good job.
It's cooked plenty?
I'll double check for you.
No chance you guys are supposed to be eating. I will say, so far, very good. I quite literally believe that Guga and Max could make the best Brazilian steakhouse on the planet for one day. Probably not every day, but definitely for one day.
Sir, we got some slices of, apologize.
Wow, the nice thin slice right there.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
I think you could use one more slice.
You almost just poked my eye.
Don't
put it down.
This is actually so dangerous.
I apologize.
The marinade on this is fantastic.
Very good, huh?
This is the biggest plate of meat I've ever had at a Brazilian steakhouse. They actually did an incredible job.
All right, I need you to try this one. It's a picanha, Wagyu A5, some of the greatest picanha this side of the Mississippi.
Wow, that's incredible.
Thank you.
Good job, chef. And here we have the specialty, sir. Just a few pieces of Wagyu for you.
Something is off. That's disgusting.
We dry aged it in durian. We like to experiment here, sir.
It's like petrol. It's horrible.
And of course, we have dessert, sir. This is caramelized pineapple. Dig in.
That is exceptionally good. Max and Guga's meatery. You wish you could eat here, but you can't because you guys are permanently closed right now.
At least we made it one day, Max.
Our next restaurant is Peter Luger Steakhouse, the #1 rated steakhouse in New York City that's world famous for its dry-aged beef that's served on a hot, sizzling plate of butter. I've also brought along my friend Matt Stoney to help me eat. If you haven't seen him before, he is one of the best competitive eaters in the world. First, we're gonna check out their dry-age vault. This room we're entering right now is filled with over $1 million worth of dry-aged beef. And to remind anybody who doesn't understand, the entire point of dry-aging like this is to develop lots and lots of flavor in beef. It smells like a weird cheese.
I've never smelled a smell like that before.
As we walk down this room, the meat is gonna get harder and harder because it's been aging longer. The meat just goes on forever. They just have tons and tons of meat hallways in here. Peek over the top. It's like the coolest view I've had in here.
I'm not that tall.
You want me to lift you up?
Sure.
Oh, it's beautiful. Some of these actually feel like a rock. I think I've torn my knuckle a little bit by just knocking that. I can push this as hard as I can with my hands and fingers. Nothing. Now the hardest part, picking the meat that we're gonna eat.
Dude, I eat hot dogs. I have no idea what I'm looking for here.
Ooh, look at these guys. That one is huge. Matt, I think I found our meat. Frank is a master butcher. He's gonna help us break this thing down. And he's gonna start by trimming off that outer bark since we can't eat that part. And then that right there is the first full steak being cut. Of all the pieces we just got, this is the biggest, nicest one. This is a porterhouse. But there's just one more quick step before cooking, which is to trim off some of that excess fat. Here's a good before and after look of trimming off that fat. Matt, be honest, in one sitting, how many of these do you think you could realistically eat?
That stack looks doable right there.
What? All right, time to cook this bad boy. They have these crazy ovens here. It's basically like a giant broiler. These are 1,000 degrees Celsius.
1,000?
And as you can see, they put a lot of very fine salt on the top of the steaks. The reason there's so much salt is it's only going on that top side. And then later, when they add the butter, it's gonna melt down with all that salt and create almost a sauce.
I've never seen steaks cook like this before. Like the flame is right there above it. It's oddly calm.
Oh, it's on fire. It's like making a s'more. Looks like it's time for a flip.
Oh, nice.
Oh, baby,
there we go.
Look at those bubbles on there. All of that really fine salt has dissolved across the steak. When it's almost done cooking, they're gonna slice the steak. And as a reminder, this is a porterhouse, so you get both that New York strip and the tenderloin here. But the very final step is to cook it a second time in some butter to give it some extra last-second flavor, and that way they can send the finished plate out to the dining room when it's still hot and sizzling. Matt, you wanna share or you want your own?
Is that a question?
This looks amazing. I think there's something about watching it be cooked that makes me hungrier.
It's like waiting in line at Disneyland or something, you know? It's like you see all the action, you get really excited.
I'm gonna go for a piece of the tenderloin first. I'm going for a little butter dip as well. Dude, the butter's insane.
That butter really good.
I can taste the dry-aged flavor.
And the crust is crazy. I don't think I've ever had a steak like this before. Usually there's some sort of a flavor. This is like the most pure salt, butter.
Well, that's the thing. The coolest part about the steakhouse to me is that the flavoring is all done in that dry-age room downstairs. They don't need seasoning, but maybe they don't know about Osmo. We're moving on to Born and Bred, the 15th best steakhouse in the world known for its Hanu beef, Korea's ultra-rare version of Wagyu that never leaves the country, which means I had to fly all the way here just to try it. And I've also brought along my friend Doobie to eat with me.
안녕.
Ready?
I'm ready.
They're letting us first take a quick peek in their butchery where they prepare all the beef for this experience.
What differentiates Hanu versus other types of butchery is that the cuts are much more specified to really make sure you get that really nice texture and flavor all in one.
What they're doing here with this beef is mostly letting the lines of fat guide where they cut so that they are not cutting through the actual meat. But what's really crazy to me about all this is that I'd never heard of Hanu before we started working on this video. It's such a well-kept secret in Korea, and that must be for good reason. This is amazing.
Wow, so fancy.
I know, I didn't know it would be this fancy. The first dish we'll get to try is this steak tartare made from Hanu top round. What a bite.
Wow.
I'm really excited for this second one. It uses the Hanu beef rump, and they're combining it with strawberry. I've never seen anything like this before. There's also some honey-infused vanilla oil going on top, as well as a little mint leaf there. Oh my gosh, it tastes like a dessert.
Wow.
First thing that came to my mind before I tasted the beef was strawberry shortcake.
You're onto something.
Next, we get to try this Hanu tenderloin topped with a bit of truffle. I really love the simplicity of this dish.
Meat and truffle, how could it go wrong? That's a juicy fella.
It tastes so pure, but the flavor is not very overpowering in a nice way. It's unlike any piece of beef that I've ever tried before. Before our next bite, it looks like we're getting a palate cleanser. Some mango with a little bit of black lime zest. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start eating my mangoes with lime zest every time. This next course is really creative. It's a Hanu top blade that's cooked using both charcoal and snow. Why are you resting the meat on the snow?
This is what our ancestors used to do. Put on the charcoal and cool the meat down. Put on the charcoal, do this job.
Back and forth?
Yes.
That's so cool.
So it's like rapid resting. I'm curious to see if this worked.
It's one of the best bites I've ever gotten.
I'm not totally sure what this next course is, but it's being very carefully grilled in some traditional Korean paper. And they're also constantly spraying it with water to keep it moist. He's untying it now, almost sort of like a Christmas present. Whoa, is it a perfect mix of beef and fish? I think it is.
What's being smeared on top is a doenjang sauce. Doenjang is a Korean traditional bean paste that's been fermented for longer.
And now he's using a torch to caramelize the sugars to really boost that flavor. It tastes like a hamburger patty with miso black cod.
Nobu meets McDonald's.
Getting close to the end of the meal now, we've got some hot pot using Hanu topped sirloin. I love how they're using every cut of beef in a completely different way. It tastes like a fresh garden.
For me, it's the textural component of the vegetables. It's almost like noodles.
The fresh wasabi and the fat together are really good. The final dish is a Hanu bulgogi, the national dish of Korean royalty. This right here is the dish I flew all the way to Korea for. This is making my mouth water. He's plating this with the beef drippings and the broth. What is this?
It's a pansang, the Korean classic table fare.
This is the highlight.
Where do we start?
I think I'm gonna go for a leafy green. We put our beautifully seared kalbi on top. We do a little bit of the marinated raw crab, a little bit of rice. You wrap it up.
Boom, here we go. There's so many flavors here, but what's so much fun is that you can build each little wrap each time however you want.
This feels like a friend who, after summer break, just got a total transformation. It's like, girl, who is she?
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Our next stop is Kote, a Michelin-starred Korean barbecue restaurant that's the #1 ranked steakhouse in America. I don't have a guest for this one, so I'm sending one lucky subscriber here for dinner instead. But don't worry, there are plenty more guests joining us later in this video. Here comes the chef. He's gonna start by oiling up the grill with some beef fat trimmings. This first guy here is hanger steak. Ooh, and we're already cooking. Of all the restaurants out there, Korean barbecue is one of my favorite because you see the food from start to finish. Rotating it around a little bit.
Yes, because it has different hot spots.
Look at that. My first bite of beef here. The hanger is the most underrated cut of steak.
That's my favorite cut, actually.
Me too. Boom. I love how many sides there are, by the way. The sides here are actually part of the reason this is the only Michelin-starred Korean barbecue restaurant in the United States. I'm gonna use them to make a nice lettuce wrap. Don't take me a bit. This next steak here is a 45-day dry-aged ribeye. You'll notice that the chef is cooking all the meat for us, and that's because the quality of beef they use here is so incredibly high that they don't want you to mess it up. But I'm not sure how I feel about that since I actually like cooking my own stuff at Korean barbecue. That one is amazing. The flavor, combined with the fact that it's fresh, hot off the grill, I would say for me that's a clear top 10 steak bite ever. I'm also gonna try this with a shiso leaf, which sort of tastes like a mix between mint, basil, and licorice. I don't know how to describe it, but I really like it. Looks like next we've got an 120-day dry-aged ribeye. This will be the longest aged beef that we try in this entire video. This is very rare to find in any steakhouse.
Doesn't it taste like blue cheese?
It tastes a lot like blue cheese. It's weird. The more you chew it, the more it tastes like blue cheese. If you like blue cheese, then you might like 120-day dry-aged beef. If not, I don't think you'd like it. Finally, we have the Kobe beef. Here we go. That one's my favorite. Perfect overall balance across the entire bite from start to finish. Before our final bite of Korean barbecue, he's gonna change out the grill here since the final steak has such a different flavor profile. They are not messing around. This one's called the dessert steak. It's a short rib that's been marinated in soy sauce, brown sugar, and pear juice to make it sweet and tender. It's like almost as if a piece of cooked beef were very lightly candied. I didn't know how I'd feel about this one, but that is exceptionally good. Let's go eat some more steak. Up next is Maison Kasai, a fancy hibachi restaurant run by a Michelin-starred chef. I also brought along a couple friends to help me eat. We've got Patrick and Albert. I didn't tell you this yet, but the experience has already started. We are in a room that somewhere has a secret door that leads to the restaurant.
All right, let's get looking.
Nope, that's not it. Oh, Albert, you found it.
Oh, no way.
Welcome, guys, welcome.
All right.
All right, here we go. Okay. Who wants to try? Get loose.
Oh, no, I don't like this. I don't like this.
All right, here we go. We're just gonna stack this egg.
What?
Oh.
Leaning tower of eggs.
All right, we're gonna light it up. Oh! We're gonna start off with some eggs.
What?
We're just gonna play with our food.
It's like art.
For the vegetables, for the rice.
Is that day-old rice, chef?
Week old.
Oh, week old.
All right, there we go.
So hard.
Oh, I love you guys.
Oh, is that the Osmo
Bam.
seasoning?
Yeah, we got our furikake with sesame seeds.
I love furikake.
We have the veggies here.
Some shiitake mushrooms, some rosemary. Wow, I love that. That right there is one of the small but important details that separates the good from the great.
Beef tallow.
Another thing that separates the good from the great.
Start off with our ribeye.
Beautiful ribeye.
I mean, at a regular tapenaki place, they're not wrapping the meat like this with like rosemary and thyme. So this is just next level.
Okay, there we go. Careful.
Hey!
Oh!
This one's dangerous. Do not try this at home. Grab this.
Oh!
What? Oh! That was crazy.
Who is this guy? Oh, he got a little bit.
Here we go. Let's add more meat. We have the Kobe, imported from Japan.
The most expensive cut of meat, huh?
Yes.
Filet mignon, a little more Osmo on there. Love it.
Beef tallow. Add our lobster.
Unbelievable. That's an incredible looking lobster tail.
Oh.
Another one.
Oh. Yeah.
We're just gonna light the lobster.
Poor guy did nothing.
Little train.
You know, when I was a kid, that would be my favorite part. It's still my favorite part.
There it is.
Wow.
Oh, just. That is so good.
That is really incredible.
I don't know what's happening in my mouth, but there's a lot of things happening, and I thank you for it. It's like buttery, beautifully cooked.
All right, here we go. There's just the truffle shavings on the Kobe.
Bon appetit, baby.
Dang,
look at that.
It's like a garden with steak. That is so good.
All right, yeah. So there we go. We're just gonna light it up. There you go. Thank you.
Can I do a flip with that?
Yeah, here you go.
No,
100%.
Let's head to our next restaurant.
No, watch.
Up next is Gordon Ramsay's Steak, where we'll be trying Gordon's iconic beef Wellington. And Gordon himself actually sent along a little video to tell me exactly what to order.
Hey Nick, it's Gordon. Now I hear you're on the lookout for the world's best steakhouses. Go to Gordon Ramsay Steak. I promise you, you'll love it. Maybe try the beef Wellington and then move away from steak and try that incredible seafood platter. Enjoy!
I've also brought along my friend Q to help me eat.
What's up, guys?
First course incoming.
We have our hamachi crudo here. We also have our prime beef sliders, prime beef tartare.
Where do we begin? I'm gonna try a little steak tartare. That is up there with the top 2 or 3 steak tartares I think I've ever had.
This is on my top 3. I don't even know the other 2.
Another slider.
So far, very, very enjoyable, all of it.
When some people think of steak, they think of surf and turf. So before the turf, the beef Wellington, I wanted to try a little bit of surf.
We're gonna set you up for your next course here.
What?
We have our iced shellfish platter.
It's like a wedding cake.
There you go.
This is a mega seafood platter. It's got oysters, it's got clams, it's got shrimp, it's got lobster, it's got king crab.
Best part, I know you love mini things. We got the mini Tabascos.
Can you blame us for wanting to try this thing? I'm gonna start over in king crab land. They made it really easy to just slide it right out.
Wow.
I'm gonna do a little lesson for everybody on oyster etiquette. Give it a little bit of lemon, a touch of cocktail sauce, then slurp, chew it, enjoy it. You take that oyster shell and you flip it upside down.
Which indicates that it's empty.
I'm gonna grab a shrimp now. Everything's delicious. I don't know how you can't love this. You ready for the main event? This is it, Gordon's classic beef Wellington. It comes with a pomme puree. That's a fancy way of saying potato puree, as well as a few different vegetables, a little beef glaze, and of course, the actual Wellington. perfection. You'd think it'd be hard to cut because it's beef, but it is like butter.
You gotta make sure you get that puree.
Oh man, it's iconic, it's delicious.
So soft.
It's got so many different textures. The crispy puff pastry on the outside and the creamy mushroom puree that's right inside that. And then the beef, of course, is a nice, beautiful, chewy texture. As it all comes together, it's the perfect bite. This is probably my 10th time having one of Gordon's Beef Wellingtons, and it is perfect every time.
Every single time.
Let's go to the next restaurant. We are now in Paris, France to try steak frites, and I'm here with my friend Charles, who's gonna say the name of the restaurant since I don't know how.
L'atelier entrecôte et volaille.
This is the #1 restaurant in Paris for steak frites, but what really sets it apart is their secret sauce that people fly from all over the world just to try.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Oh, very French, your bonjour. This is a typical French bistro. Look at the wood, the mirror, and look also how the tables are really close together. When you eat, you are really close to stranger. But that's French.
This is Antoine. He's the executive chef, and he's gonna take us through how they make their steak frites. He starts off simple by tenderizing the meat just lightly, and then adds a little sprinkle of salt.
Listen. They put the meat on the grill for 1 minute, then he turned the meat 90 degrees.
He's getting that nice checkerboard pattern on the beef. Now he takes the meat once it's finished cooking and brings it up to rest.
While the steak is taking a nap, we're gonna see the fries. This is the secret. The fries are pre-cooked. And with this technique, you have extra crispy fries outside and a puree inside.
Into the hot oil we go. Again, the fries are already pre-cooked. We just need to basically crisp the outside now. And he's gonna give them a little shake to make sure they don't stick together. What a great sound. Fun fact, French fries were not actually invented in France. You knew that.
Yeah, but I don't remember the country.
The last thing to do is toss those fries in some salt, preferably Osmo. Oh, listen to the crunch. You wouldn't think they could taste so different from how they taste in the United States. They taste so different. What makes this restaurant and their steak frites so special is this sauce right here. This took them years to perfect. How many people know this recipe?
Only 2 people.
And he's one of them.
Do you have it?
The plating here is simple and traditional like any other French bistro. This keeps the focus entirely on the food and its flavor. A beautiful French bistro just for the 2 of us. Merci.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that.
Very classic French presentation.
Fries in the sauce. Oh. Oh, the sauce is so complex. The first thing that comes to my mind with the sauce is sort of like a creamy French pesto.
I know what you mean.
I think I taste tarragon, too.
Yeah.
If you look up close at the sauce, you can see how many different specks of color and ingredients there are in there.
Do you know you have more than 20 ingredients in the sauce?
How do you know that? It's a secret. I'm gonna jump to the meat. Really, really simple. Lightly tenderized, but it's already been aged just a little bit. The sauce tastes different based on what you eat it with.
I just take the perfect bite. Steak, fries, and sauce.
That's the best bite.
It's like a good song.
What song would it sound like?
Kodak Black.
I was initially almost a little bit skeptical about whether the sauce would be really that good, and it is that good.
So maybe you that watch the video, you say, just steak and fries. But steak and fries, perfectly cooked with the sauce, it's an amazing experience.
My first ever meal in France, definitely a good one.
Et maintenant, tu vas manger une autre viande.
I have no idea what you're saying. Our final steakhouse is Bazaar Meat, which blends Argentinian-style open-flame cooking with Spanish creativity to serve up some of the most futuristic steak dishes you'll ever see. I've also invited my friend Joe to eat with me.
What up?
He's a world-famous music artist, and he's got a concert in about an hour, so we gotta go. This is one of the craziest kitchens I've ever seen.
This is our grill setup, and it's really, really hot. This basically is our main pass.
The main pass in a restaurant is the control center. The food comes through here for you to see it before it goes out.
Wow.
I love how everything's wood-fired. You know before tasting anything that the flavor is gonna be
on point. Yeah. One last thing before you start eating, guys, I need you to pick your steak. We have Washugu, Rosewood, Akaushi, Stemple Creek.
Joe's my guest. I'm gonna let him pick. That one. Perfect. The first dish is a foie gras cotton candy. This looks crazy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's interesting.
You have that pillowy, melt-in-your-mouth texture of cotton candy. Then you have the corn nuts, which are crunchy. And then they have the soft and creamy foie gras.
Kind of tastes like cereal.
Like a foie gras-flavored corn flake.
Yeah, kind of. Course number 2, Japanese A5 Wagyu air bread.
I don't know if any of you ever watched the Netflix series Chef's Table, but this is the featured dish from that restaurant on that series, and it looks unbelievable.
Oh. That's crazy.
There's this very light, super flavor-packed cheese foam on the inside, and then the rest is just hollow. That's gonna be hard to beat. This one's called Neptune's Pillow. These are quite literally perfect pillows. You'll notice that it's tuna and not steak. Still think it's gonna be delicious.
Oh, that's a 10 out of 10 crunch.
That one went right off the charts.
Dish number 4, classic steak tartare.
It comes beautifully presented like this with a little movie magic. Poof, the beef tartare is all mixed together. You first, please.
A tartare sandwich.
Who made a nicer sandwich, me or Joe?
Cheers.
It tastes like a really, really good soft hamburger.
Very expensive slider.
Course number 5, bison carpaccio. This one looks insane.
Whoa, there's so much going on.
You get hit with a little spice, you get a little bit of kind of blue cheese, you taste the celery, and the meat is so incredibly thin that it just kind of melts in your mouth. What's happening?
We're going to Japan right now.
Oh.
We have omi beef, we have satsuma, and we have bushugu. Bushugu basically translates to beef of the samurai. So this farm used to feed the samurai back in the day.
Today we are samurai.
We're gonna go ahead and cook a couple of table sides.
Listen to that sound. Going for a flip? Nice. These only sear for literally just a couple seconds on each side. This type of beef is so incredibly delicate, so you cannot overcook it.
We're diving in.
That is the definition of melt in your mouth. There's so much fat between the actual meat in each of these bites that it makes it break apart really easily as you chew.
I feel like I'm back in Japan.
Our final course, course number 7, is an akaushi ribeye, which I'm gonna top with a little bit of truffle.
Make it rain.
Honestly, I like eating steak with my hands.
You like eating steak with your hands?
Yeah.
Then I'll try the same thing. Incredible.
The truffle too.
For me, it's the exact level of dry aged flavor that I want. Not so much that I can't taste the actual flavor of the beef anymore, but not too little where it's just not there. Are you late for your show?
One more bite.
In this video, I'm gonna be cooking some of the best Wagyu in the entire world, and a type of meat that I'm even more excited for, Kobe beef. Everybody says Wagyu thinking that that's the best of the best, but no. Kobe is actually a level above. But as I often like to do, we're gonna throw a twist in this, because we're gonna be cooking all of it on a hot Himalayan salt rock. This thing right here is a giant Himalayan pink salt slab. It's super, super heavy, but it doesn't even come close to how heavy this bad boy right here is. And frankly, I like the pink color on this one a lot better. But wait just a second. Before we get moving, I'm going to politely ask that you toss a quick like on the video. I cannot tell you how much me and the whole team appreciate it, and it really helps more than you could ever know. So I'm gonna give you just a quick little second. If you won't like it for me, like it for Pesto. For now, we're gonna give you just a quick second to go down and smack that like button. If you do, Pesto might get to try some Wagyu later. Today we'll be cooking with an amazing spread of different proteins because I really want to compare these different things and see how it goes on a hot stove. I mean, who would go to the market and buy any of these things and then decide to cook them on a giant piece of salt? Only me, that's who. First, we have some absolutely gorgeous salmon. When I choose my salmon, I really don't mess around, and as you can see, I have a perfect portion right here. What I look for in salmon is similar to what I look for in a piece of Wagyu. That amazing marbling of the fat that hasn't been all messed up and butchered by the person that broke down and filleted the fish. And as you can see, this right here is perfect. What are you doing? You're fired. Get out. Next, we have some amazing scallops. Now, believe it or not, I actually really don't like cooked scallops all that much. I prefer them raw. And if you haven't had scallop ceviche before, I urge you to try it at some point. It's a completely different texture and mouthfeel, and it is absolutely delicious. Now we have some of the thickest bacon you've ever seen. And when I say thick, I mean with a bunch of Q's at the end. Almost as thick as me. I really wanted to take this bacon and sear it off on our hot stone to see what this would turn out as. Today, let's treat this bacon like we would any other protein and really give it some love and care. Now is when things get exciting. Notice that I'm leaving these in the packages right now because I really don't want to start touching this Wagyu beef with my hands and messing it up. But this right here is a Miyazaki-Gyu tenderloin. This is the best of the best Wagyu all the way from Japan. And as you probably have guessed, my friends at the Wagyu shop. Now this right here, although it does look slightly less vibrant, is a Kobe tenderloin. This is Japanese Wagyu beef, but it's the best of the best in terms of Wagyu beef, and I cannot wait to try this. I don't think I've ever tried this before in my life, so I'll really try to bring you through what that tastes like. Speaking of Kobe, this right here is a Japanese Wagyu Kobe ribeye. This bad boy right here is gonna run you almost $400, so you don't wanna waste even the tiniest bit. And last but not least, we have a beautifully marbled Motobo Gyu strip loin. Again, this is Wagyu beef if you haven't figured it out, and it's a slightly different cut from a different farm and location. I'm super excited to try this one. And one last really exciting thing before we begin. If you are watching this right now, this means that we have officially launched my new salt company, Osmo. I've been working on this salt company behind the scenes for almost a year, and what you're looking at right here are some of the best salts that you will ever taste, and I promise you that. We have black truffle, mesquite smoked, flaky white, this amazing pink Himalayan salt rock that you can grate over whatever you'd like, and then flaky black and roasted garlic. To be honest, I can't even really pick out my favorites, but these are truly the finest and most delicious salts I have ever worked with. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment to grab some salt before it runs out, because trust me, all of this is going to sell out, and I truly would not be surprised if it's gone by today. And in the meantime, we're gonna be trying all of these salts and some of the different proteins we're gonna cook today on the hot salt slab, just to see how well different pairings work. Oh, and one last thing. You know this absolutely beautiful Damascus knife that I've used in every single YouTube video up to this point. We are going to randomly stick my knife that I'm holding right here in one of the boxes of the first 1,000 orders. So click below and order and you may just have my exact chef's knife. All right, let's get cooking. Now at this point, it's time to heat up our salt rock. And this is gonna take a little bit of time. I already have things going over low and it's actually quite warm. Cut the cam for a quick second. You know how they have this in spas? You can like lie down. It's freaking awesome. I'm gonna have this going over quite low heat for about 10 to 15 minutes to let this slowly come up to temperature. We don't wanna completely shock this salt rock and have it crack. Trust me, it's not fun for anybody when that happens. We'll come back to revisit this in about 15 minutes and slowly turn off that heat until we've gotten this thing as hot as we can possibly get it. Now, normally I'd be the first one to tell you not to put anything except for salt on a piece of Wagyu. But I recently went to a restaurant and had Wagyu with some roasted garlic as well as classic old salt. It was at a Korean barbecue place and it was genuinely one of the best things I remember tasting for quite some time. So to start, I'm gonna go ahead and put some roasted garlic salt all over this beautiful piece of Wagyu. I have a really good feeling this is gonna be one of the best bites of meat I have ever experienced. And if the cameraman here can make it through the video without being fired, maybe he'll get to taste it too. Once we've rolled this all the way around in the salt, making sure the entire thing is fully and evenly coated, we are ready to sear this off on our Himalayan salt block. Now normally I wouldn't put any sort of oil on something that I'm about to cook Wagyu over, but here I'm gonna do it just because we're using a salt block and I wanna keep this baby nice and lubed up. No. As you can see, I've already tested out a scallop here, which is why we've left that mark. And all these proteins will build up a nice patina as we cook more of them on here. To start, I'll go down with just a little bit of oil right in the middle here, and then we sear. Listen to that amazing hot sizzling that's occurring right away. I can already see this Wagyu tensing up, and I can also smell that absolutely incredible roasted garlic salt. One of the best smells you could possibly dream of. At this point, we've got a really beautiful crust on the bottom of this Wagyu, and then we'll flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Now finally, once this absolute beauty is done, you can see we have a really nice sizzly exterior, an amazing perfect crust across the entire thing. But last but not least, let's hit it with a little bit more of our roasted garlic salt. Because the most important thing with this piece of meat right here, other than the fact that we're trying to cook it perfectly, is to make absolutely sure that we nail that roasted garlic flavor. It's not easy cleaning off these salt rocks, but I'm gonna try to spray it and release some of that dark brown patina that's sitting on the bottom. As I spray and mist it, the smells that are coming off of this are incredible. Since we're already cooking these fillets, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of my classic white flaky salt, then evenly cover our entire Kobe filet mignon. And once this beauty is evenly coated, place it down to sear. This is just sizzling uncontrollably right now. And I have to say, after doing a test with both different salts, Osmo's white flaky salt really does a great job at coating a nice piece of meat. And because it's a little bit smaller than your average flaky salt, it sits flush up against the meat and cooks really, really evenly and nicely. At this point, I think this piece of filet mignon is ready to rest. I already got a little flaky salt in this bad boy, but let's be bougie and finish him off with just a little bit of this black truffle salt. This black truffle salt right here will blow your mind. Look at me right now. I'm talking to you, This will rock your world. It's time to cut this beautiful filet mignon open. And right here is the moment of truth. Hashtag nailed it. Let's cut some really, really nice slices. Thick enough that you get a nice bite, but not too thick. We don't want any steak that's as thick as me. Now, we may have already overdone it with the salt, but just theoretically, if you want to be super, super fancy and grate some salt over literally whatever you want, we've made a very small batch of these Himalayan pink salt chunks with a little salt grater that you can grate over anything. Watch. But I think it's safe to say that at this point, these have more than enough seasoning. So I think it's time to try. First, I want to try a little bite of this beautiful piece right here. Notice how easily this tears apart. Here we go. The black truffle, oh my word. It's almost like in this black truffle salt, there's truffle butter, and that truffle all just melts across the steak once it sits on there. And it's literally absurd. I feel like I am somehow actually eating a black truffle and steak hybrid right now. And of course, the Wagyu itself is beyond good. Nothing can be better than what I'm tasting right now. Let's hang up all the pots and pans, all the chef's knives, everything. We're done here. Now for this other one, because I'm really excited to see whether or not I actually get that roasted garlic flavor. So here we go. These are both absurd. Some of the best meat that I've ever had. Everybody watching, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I get a little bit sick of Wagyu. I have so much of it around and I am lucky to have that. Because of the amount of Wagyu I have, given a regular steak and a piece of Wagyu, I'd normally right now choose a regular steak because that is what I have less of. But this right here, I could eat a million servings of. You wanna taste a little bite? All right, I'm gonna feed you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Try it out. You're fired. Now it's time to cook up the rest of these things, and do not worry, I have not forgotten about this bacon. In fact, I'm extremely excited to see how this super thick bacon cooks on top of our salt slab. But first, we're gonna season it up a little bit more with this mesquite smoked salt. Think of everything you love about summer barbecuing and grilling. That is what this salt tastes like. It is the most elegant smoky flavor I've tried to date, and we tried hundreds and hundreds of smoked salts to get to this one right here. Make sure to season the other side of that bacon, and then we'll set it aside. Next, our salmon. Like I said, that right there is a nice piece of salmon. We're gonna go over the whole piece of salmon with some white flaky salt, but perhaps most important in my opinion is getting the skin. We wanna put plenty of salt on that skin so it draws out all the moisture, thereby allowing us to get a really nice crispy skin salmon, which again, I am super curious to see whether or not we can do on the pink salt slab. Now for our other types of Wagyu, we're gonna go in and cut out nice strips of it. Strips as well as squares are my two favorite ways to cook Wagyu. We'll hit this with just some of our regular salt, and because we don't wanna salt those scallops until the second before we hit them on the heat, we're ready to cook the rest. It's time for something I've been waiting for this whole day. Cooking bacon on a big slab of salt. I'm gonna layer out about 3 of these pieces and just let them do their thing. Just listen to that amazing hot sizzle. We'll wait just a few moments to let that golden brown crust form on each side, but already I'm smelling that incredible smokiness, perhaps a tiny touch of maple, and of course the classic smell of bacon fat. And now it's time. We can flip that amazing bacon over and look at that amazing sizzle that we've gotten on it. This right here is going to be some flavorful bacon. The fat is dripping everywhere and my kitchen is surely gonna be a mess. But you know what? I don't care. As they sizzle, let's hit them with a little bit more mesquite smoked salt. And now it's time that we take that bacon off and let it rest. This bacon is cooked to absolute perfection, leaving just enough fat at those edges that will have that nice chewiness, but then having that really crispy texture throughout. But let's act quickly, because we're gonna put the scallops on right away. The scallops and bacon go together like me and my cameraman. For these scallops, we're gonna salt them, but then very quickly go right onto that salt rock. Never season your scallops more than just a minute or 2 before you cook them, because it dries them out and it'll make them hard and rubbery. Now we'll try to get that nice golden brown crust. Once all those scallops are really nice and sizzly, check out that golden brown crust we got in the bottom. Now we only have to lightly kiss them on the other side just to barely finish up their cooking, and then these scallops are done. It's fantastic how great of a crust we can get from this Himalayan salt rock, but keep in mind, I'm cooking at an extremely high temperature right now and my whole kitchen is pretty smoked up. So if you're gonna do this at home, I'd suggest putting it on a grill and maybe doing it outside. While this is still piping hot, I'm gonna go down right away with my pieces of Wagyu, getting a really nice crust on each piece. Now once each of these pieces of Wagyu has a nice crust just like this, flip those over to get crust on the other side. Again, we want to make sure these are cooked properly and not overcooked, of course. So make sure you have a really hot stone to start and not searing for too long. And now last but not least, what I've been waiting for this entire time, can we get a perfect crispy skinned piece of salmon on a Himalayan pink salt hot stone? Wait just a moment here and you'll find out. Now after quite some time of the salmon sitting here, I can just tell by the sound, listen, that we've gotten a nice crispy skin, but let's check it out and make sure it's not burned. Boom. No, this right here is not burned. Let me show you. If you think back to just a few seconds ago, this part of the salmon and the scales there are a lot darker. This right here is perfect. All we need now is just a minute or 2 on the other side, and while the fish may stick at first, it will eventually release itself, and then we've cooked everything. And it's time to try these last few things out. If we want to step things up just a tad bit more while the salmon is cooking, I'm gonna go around this with just a little bit of lemon juice, then really soak that in with the salmon to spread around all that flavor. Now that right there is going to be a delicious piece of salmon. So obviously we have a great big spread of things right here, but first I want to cut into this salmon right here, because I want to make sure we nailed that. We already know we got the crispy skin. But is it perfectly cooked? That's the real question here. One way to find out. Voila. Now I have to say, the colors in the camera do seem a little bit weird to me, but I hope you can see that in the center we have what is essentially some raw salmon, which is perfect. Because immediately outwards from that, we have a nice even layer of cooking that goes all the way up to that crispy skin on the top. I mean, just look at that salmon. For now, a little bite. That's so juicy. Now, time to taste that bacon. Here we go. I'm serious right now. Those mesquite crystals are what really make it. They give this really nice, perfect crunch. And the salt is such a shape that it holds perfectly, almost like a little crystal of sugar. Now that is some good bacon. I'm gonna call this little guy right here my hero scallop, even though he's probably the smallest one. This right there is what you want your scallops to look like. And while this is still a better sear than what I see most people get, this kind of pale, very lightly brown interior is what most people's scallops look like. If you're gonna buy something this expensive, start with a super hot pan to get this nice, thick, beautiful crust. The crust on something like a scallop is everything in my opinion. But let's take a bite. It's soft, it's buttery, it's got a perfect texture. And I don't know if you can see, but it pulls apart almost like nice pulled pork. That is a very, very tasty scallop. Last but not least, we have to try out this Wagyu. I'm not gonna make you wait. Let's dive in. Just look at that fat that drips off when I squeeze this. This Wagyu is truly, truly special. It's an explosion of fat and oil in your mouth when you bite into each piece, but oil and fat in the best possible way. Words that I simply do not possess in my vocabulary would be needed to describe that bite. Now, one last little thing. Now, as promised, you all smack that like button, so Pesto gets to try a piece of Kobe beef, and look how much he likes it. So much, in fact, that he's using both hands to grab onto it, and he will not let it go. Everybody, look how happy you made this little guy. Now, I want to give everyone who watched the video a great big thank you, but I want to give everyone one last reminder to not forget to grab some Osmo salt. I mean, we got so much to offer, and look at this. We even have black flaky salt. The point is, we got salt for everybody. We have so many different types of salt, I couldn't even use all of those in that video. But I really mean it when I want to say how hard I've worked on this company for so long to really nail down all of these incredible flavors. I'm never gonna mess around with food that's not truly incredible in my mind. And all of these salts, other than of course the plain ones, are so incredibly complex. I mean, that roasted garlic salt alone literally tastes like if you put a bunch of garlic cloves in the oven with some olive oil, salt, and pepper, beautifully roasted them till that chewiness and that glaze comes out, and then combine that perfectly into little salt granules. It's incredible. Go down and check out our brand new website, which just launched today, and I'll see you next time. We're gonna cook steak in 50 different ways, such as using hot molten glass, a laser pointer, and even cooking in the dishwasher.
We'll start off simple with a steak in a cast iron pan.
These experiments will get crazier and crazier throughout the whole video.
We're gonna be eating steaks for weeks after this one.
Because we're doing so many steaks today, we're not gonna be seasoning every single one. That would just be a waste of time.
But for symbolic purposes, we're gonna be cooking this one with garlic, rosemary, and butter.
He's Max the meat guy. Of course it's gonna be perfectly cooked. What'd I tell you? Something we all know and love, burgers. I think we already know this one's gonna work, but you know Max and I always grind our own meat.
Wink, wink. We're looking for a really nice ratio of fat and meat. And you wanna have your meat nice and cold. Roll it up into a ball and just gently form those beautiful patties.
If there's one thing Max and I know, it's how to make a good burger.
Down with the patty. We're just gonna give it a quick flip. Check out that crust.
A burger is a great way to cook a steak.
One of the most classic ways to cook a steak on the gas grill.
Do we really need to wait for this one? We've seen it a million times.
Seasoned everything up and got them on the grill.
Cook at 250 for 3 hours.
I got a nice skirt steak. It's longer than your sister's skirt last night, but a little dope.
If there's one thing we can all agree is that cooking the right steak at the perfect doneness is always the ultimate goal.
Another classic method, oven baked.
350 Fahrenheit. Just like that, she is good to go.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, honestly, really nice color on this.
So good. I must say, I'm excited to cut into this thing. It looks a little bit like a ham to me.
It could definitely use a sear, but overall, not bad.
Well, we can't really know until we taste it. I call that a win.
This one, we're gonna broil. Set to 550, and in we go. Whoa, that is smoky. Pretty nice looking color. We're just gonna flip it. Oh,
What do we do?
Open a window.
Do not broil your steak. Oh. Fail. Dry aged steak.
Whoa, 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 Nick. We're supposed to cut off the pellicle. What are you doing here? We're just gonna slice off the edges like so. This part is not really edible. Removing the fat as well until we're left with the perfect dry aged steak. And now back into the pan. Not the biggest steak in the world, but check out that sizzle.
There is nothing like a dry aged steak.
Especially when you don't rest it. Okay, another classic at-home method, we're gonna braise this steak. Start with a quick sear.
That is a nice sear.
That's a sear right there, boys. Now we're just gonna add in our braising liquid and cover it up.
Oh, that was good.
And our braised steak is, ooh, that's hot. Okay, and our braised steak is complete. It's been braising for about 2 hours. Let's slice into it. And really, we're just hoping for a nice pull-apart texture. Doesn't really feel braised. Just looks like a well-done steak. Yeah, you really shouldn't braise a steak like this.
One of my favorite ways to cook meat, a smoker. And of course, we have our hickory pellets.
Nick, we only use applewood here.
Low and slow.
Okay, and 20 minutes later, this is what we got.
We'll slice in, and it looks perfect. Max, that's pretty good.
Let me get a bite. charcoal grill, and of course, we're using apple wood.
I'm embarrassed to say this is my first time cooking on a charcoal grill.
We got our charcoal nice and hot. That apple wood is lit. Technically, right now, we're cooking high and fast, which is illegal, but it's looking good.
Now we'll cover it up to let it finish up the cooking process.
All right, let's check this baby out. This steak looks absolutely incredible.
We're gonna slice through this thing, and not a real surprise, it looks fantastic.
And time for the taste test. A little bit of smoke in my eyes, but that is delicious.
A tried and true classic method, sous vide.
We're gonna be cooking this at 130 Fahrenheit for 1 hour.
The sous vide is finally done, and you can already tell this right here is a soft, soft steak with lots of juice left behind.
That right there is literally edge to edge medium rare.
Sous vide for the win. Beef jerky. We've had a lot of extra beef scraps during this video, and we'll probably have enough beef jerky to last a couple of years.
That is actually delicious.
Gyro. Believe it or not, I've already done this one with the golden balance. Check it out.
I'm gonna carve some nice clean cuts of beef right into my holder here. Bismillah. That is good.
One of my favorite dinners out there, Korean barbecue. Korean barbecue is probably one of the coolest food experiences in the world. Korean barbecue cooks pretty quick. All right, I think we all knew before we even did this one, it's a win.
Let's go. Pink Himalayan salt rock.
That is 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow, that is hot.
It's not even pink anymore.
It's a nice sizzle.
That sounded great.
The thing is, these are really thick steaks.
Yeah, they are so thick. It smells amazing.
Not bad.
Want to slice it?
Let's do it. It worked. Perfect medium rare.
Hot massage stones. I can pretty much guarantee no one's ever used these for what we're doing right now. These stones are so hot right now.
So hot right now.
They look gray instead of black, but these were jet black when we put them into the oven. This is gonna be the most uneven sear.
Oh, 100%. All right, I think we can all agree this is not gonna work.
This looks like what you get at Salt Bay's restaurant.
Honestly, this feels like a sin, but we're cooking this one in an air fryer.
I'm gonna look up on my phone how to cook steak in an air fryer. 400 degrees for 12 minutes.
Whoa.
Oh, that looks amazing.
That is some beautiful color. We're just gonna slice right down the middle. And let's take a look at that interior. Super juicy, but potentially raw.
Rotisserie. The only rotisserie I know is for chicken.
Today we're gonna do it with steak.
This is the gizmo.
Jesus.
Oh.
Ow. Everything about this is wrong.
This is our steak rotisserie. I will place it into the rotisserie machine.
Close it up.
Max temperature.
Say 350.
Turn it to rotisserie mode and turn my Crocs into sport mode. There it goes.
Nice.
Whoa.
She's beautiful.
It's beautiful. This has been going for about 20 minutes. Time to check it out. Ow. I mean, the crust on this thing is incredible.
Nice golden brown. Looks delicious.
First things first, we'll take out the skewer, and then it's time to slice. And what I like to call the moment of truth.
It's perfect.
It was perfect. Perfect.
I'm actually surprised how well that worked. Actually,
Came
really
out
good.
fantastic.
Do we need to save this one for jerky, or can I save it for later?
Okay, for this one, ceviche. The only thing I'm missing are some limes. I'm just gonna remove the fat.
And while he does that, I'm gonna chop up a bunch of lime. As I'm sure lots of you already know, ceviche is actually cooked.
Essentially what happens is the acidity of those limes break down the meat. We're just gonna add in that beef.
And then go over it with a bunch of lime. This is basically just gonna be a steak tartare that's actually cooked. We'll finish it for now with just a pinch of salt.
And once it's mixed, we're just gonna refrigerate for a few hours.
All right. Smells amazing. It sort of looks cooked. I wouldn't make this at home. It's now time to boil a steak. I've heard Gordon Ramsay yell about this all too many times.
What in the is going on there?
Max, you and I both know this is something we can never be proud of.
I'm with you.
Oh, it's horrible.
Please promise me it's the first and last time for this.
All right, our steak has supposedly finished boiling. It looks awful. It's almost starting to flop over like a brisket.
It's gray. It does not look good.
Do you want to do the honors?
I guess so. Do not try this at home. Zero rendering on that fat, would not recommend.
Gordon Ramsay hates this.
That dish would have stood up 10 years ago at the age of 12 in MasterChef Junior.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, the microwave.
You might remember this microwave from the time we put an egg in here. Manny and I almost died.
We're gonna add our steak to the microwave. This just feels so wrong.
But it might work.
We'll see.
That's why we're testing. We're about 3.5 minutes in. I hear sizzling.
Let's check it.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Oh. Completely gray on the bottom, but still red on top. I think we should flip it.
Okay.
Right? Let's flip it. That's how you cook stuff.
Oh, that's bad. Oh, no.
All right.
Okay, I think we're done. Oh no. It's just so wet in there. That is not looking good.
Slice in. It's so strange that it cooked from top to bottom.
Doesn't look terrible though. Doesn't look good. That is absolutely gross.
Panini press. This one happens to be a George Foreman.
You burned your foot on a Foreman grill.
I like waking up to the smell of bacon. Sue me.
And in we go. We're just gonna let that do its thing. Time to see if George Foreman has done it again. It does look like we have some fantastic grill marks, but the real question, how is it cooked?
George, that is quite possibly the worst steak I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not treating you to lunch anymore!
This is the one I'm most excited about. We're making steak waffles. Hey kids, breakfast is ready.
Dad, you made steak waffles again?
Your favorite. Just check out that waffle pattern. It's perfect.
That has to be one of the coolest steaks I've ever seen.
Both the sides are completely raw, but the inside, absolutely perfect. Steak waffles for the win.
Rice cooker. I will say I use a rice cooker basically every night for dinner. I love rice. Never use it for this. First we'll go in with a little bit of oil.
And we're just gonna stuff in our steak.
Oh, and it goes.
Okay, long grain rice.
You should be ashamed of yourself. It's funny. You should be ashamed of yourself.
We just let this go for a full cycle that you would cook rice on. Oh my. Immediate no. Probably one of the least smart ideas of the day, toaster. This one's quite simple. Drop them in. Now we wait.
Cranking it all the way up for a nice sear.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the fat on this one actually looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I think the cook is fire.
Oh my God.
I've always wanted to know if we can cook a steak in a hotel room. Let's iron. I mean, this seems to be working. Amazing. 0 wrinkles on this.
We're treating this steak like we would a nice dress shirt. It's gonna be wrinkle-free. Time to steam a steak. About 15-20 minutes later, here's what we're looking at. And if you don't feel like it's quite finished, we can continue steaming it. It's all about that attention to detail. Ah, God. That was hot. This entire steak is extremely gray. I'll slice in, and actually, the results aren't too bad.
But again, who wants to eat a gray steak? Honestly, this steak looks amazing.
It's time to find out how amazing it really is.
Not bad.
It's still mooing.
Nick, if you're too scared to eat it, I will. Pretty good. The verdict, this thing works extremely well.
Next up, confit.
We're cooking beef in its own fat.
We'll pour in all this beef fat
and slowly let it cook.
You've probably seen this before with duck confit, but never with beef. This steak looks a little overcooked, but we never judge a steak by its crust. That actually looks fantastic.
Cooked in beef fat definitely works. We're cooking this one in 10 pounds of butter. Oh.
This right here is 10 pounds of mayonnaise. Butter. It looks exactly like mayonnaise.
Our butter's melted and in she goes.
Oh. We've both done this with lobster, by the way. And while we don't know the results of this one yet, when it came to the results for the lobster,
it did absolutely nothing.
That did absolutely nothing.
Oh, whoa. Man, I feel like it's like nearing. Oh! Yummy. We essentially just boiled this in butter.
It looks pretty good.
That's one of the best looking steaks on the inside that we've had today.
That outside though.
This could be the best bite of meat we have ever had in our lives.
Anything's possible.
Once again, I'd say the butter did absolutely nothing. This guy is gonna get deep fried. It sounds crazy, but I've done it before and it's not the worst. This steak right here has the meanest crust we've seen yet. And that's why I say deep frying isn't usually that bad.
I'll be the judge of that, Nick. I mean, this right here is easily the best crust of the day. But how's the inside? So that right there is what we call a bullseye. Overcooked on the outside, very rare on the inside, but overall, not terrible.
I hit a bullseye.
Chicken fried steak. Into the flour, get that nice and covered, right into the buttermilk, back into the flour, and into the hot oil.
The hope is that we got a nice Popeyes-like crust. I would say by looking at this thing that we sort of did.
Pretty nice golden brown, nice and crunchy.
You gotta love the sound of that.
This has gotta be one of our most tasty looking steaks of the day.
This is better than we could have ever imagined so far.
Let's do it.
Ow, that's good.
That's really good.
I'm gonna have to chicken fry my steaks more often. Just like we see at Salt Bay's restaurant, pouring hot oil.
And we're just gonna ladle our 400-degree oil right on top. It's a little underwhelming, not gonna lie.
Oh wait, hold on though. Can we lift it up and do it on the fat?
Sort of working, I guess.
At this point, I think we can all go ahead and agree this is... Don't be Salt Bay.
We're cooking this one in the pizza oven.
I feel like this will either be really good or absolutely terrible. Let's take a quick look at this steak. To me, it's one of the better looking steaks we've had this entire experiment.
Just check out that fat cap.
And just like that, our steak is done.
And this steak looks absolutely perfect.
This is probably my favorite steak of the day.
This steak is so good, we gotta give some to Nick's dog, Pepper. Pepper, hey Pepper. High five. There you go. Easy bake oven. Now this one's actually my personal favorite. We've done it a few times and it most definitely works. I call that a success.
Next up, we have a device called the Searzall. Seems like it might be taking a while.
Get out of the way, Nick. This is a real torch. This is actually working great.
Get out of the way, Max.
Just listen to that thing.
We made that steak sing.
Flamethrower.
Whoa, 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 you're gonna light
It's
my
fine.
studio on fire. Next up, we're gonna roast this steak over fire. First, I'm gonna add in a bunch of ethanol.
That is so much. Where's the fire extinguisher? We'll take some slices of our steak.
And then, with my tongs, here we go. Why is it taking so long?
Nick, is this fire even real?
It's real, but it's definitely not as hot as I thought it would be right now.
Like very not hot fire.
I love that we can just play with the fire with our hands. Oh, looks like I just burned off all the hairs on my hand.
Nick, you gotta know when to give up. This one's a fail.
Tong hulu. And because you all asked me to do it so many times, I've already done it.
I want to love it, but I hate it.
Freeze-dried steak.
This steak has a 25-year shelf life.
I'll be eating this when I'm 55 years old. Pretty nifty. You sure it's doing anything?
I hope so.
Wow.
Did it?
It didn't do anything.
My can opener is too weak for this.
That's gross.
That's disgusting.
It doesn't smell as bad as it looks.
It says to just add water, so. Whoa. They turn steak colored right away.
It's like steak cereal.
Wait, that's amazing.
I don't know if amazing's the word there, Nick.
Are you gonna eat one?
Of course.
It just tastes like steak.
Really?
I ain't even thought. This was really expensive, and now I kind of understand why.
Wow.
Right?
It's actually not bad.
Freeze-dried steak. This is gonna be the best treat in the world for my puppy Pepper.
This steak right here, we're taking outside and cooking in a car. Hey Nick, your car's outside, right?
I'll grab the keys.
All right, we're here at the car, and I've heard that you can literally cook a steak in the engine. Nick, where is the engine?
It's electric.
And now we're cooking this one completely covered in salt. We want a nice wet sand type consistency, and we're just gonna mix it all together. Kind of feels like snow. Okay, we're just gonna lay down our first layer of salt. We're just gonna spread it out nice and evenly and just place down that beautiful steak, and we're just gonna completely cover it with salt.
Pack that baby in nice and tight, and we go.
What? Oh, because that roller's gone. Dude, what is going on with this? It's my first time using an oven, and in the oven at 350.
Out she comes. Here we go, Max.
And we have a fully salt-encrusted steak. Just gonna crack it open.
Like a dinosaur egg.
The question is, how is it cooked, and is it way too salty? Let's find out. Definitely on the rare side. Let's give it a quick taste. Ooh. A bit salty.
Baking in clay. I actually used to do a lot of pottery back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never did I think I'd be cooking steaks.
First, we're gonna treat this like a nice loaf of bread. Just take some slices.
And I'll be on this side layering these down to make a nice foundation for our steak. At this point, we're gonna take a piece of parchment, wrap one of our steaks nicely and tightly inside the parchment.
And we're just gonna ever so gently wrap up our present. And in she goes. All right, let's see what we got.
Looks good. Oh, nice. Oh, the steak is so mushy. Oh, it looks like it's been sous vide.
Yeah, sous vide or steamed.
It's actually not bad.
Looks pretty good.
It's really soft and flimsy, and if we could sear it, I feel like it'd be the perfect steak.
I agree.
But unfortunately, each method must stand alone. This is a fail.
Cooking underground. Now, our good friend Guga's already done this before, so I'm pretty sure it works.
It is tender. It's tender. It's really tender.
We're gonna cook this one over a bonfire. And we're treating this just like a marshmallow. We want a perfect golden brown exterior. There's a reason they call me Max the Meat Guy, not Max the Marshmallow Guy. Just getting a nice crust on either side. Oh my God, Nick, we got a problem here. Our steak is on fire.
And this is why you don't cook over a bonfire. We're gonna cook this steak caveman style.
All this means is that we're literally cooking the steak directly on the coals.
I do not have high hopes for this steak, but it actually has some really interesting looking grill marks, and the fat cap ended up getting a really nice crust too. We'll slice into our steak.
And it is burnt on the outside, raw on the inside. Let's go for a bite. That is sandy. This one's going in the dishwasher.
The cycle has just finished.
She's looking good. And we're just opening up our bag, and there's our steak. And just check out how much juice got released. I have a feeling this is gonna be perfect. Just slice into it. I'd say not bad.
It's like
for a dishwasher.
Dead on. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but this dishwasher might be a better cook than all of us. Once again, this was an exact normal cycle of my dishwasher.
My first dishwasher cooked steak. Probably one of the best steaks we've cooked all day.
Yeah, it's perfect. She's a 2-for-1, dishwasher and oven. What we have here is called a curling iron, and girls use it for their hair. We have it on turbo mode right now, so it is extremely hot. I'm just gonna hang out here for a little bit and let it cook. I mean, it smells good, but the question is, what happens when I click this lever? 3, 2, 2.5. Oh wait, I went up instead of down. It should have been 1.5. Open. Oh, God.
That is horrible, Nick.
That
Why?
looks like a fingernail, but the sear.
I mean, it's cooked all the way through both sides. Are you gonna eat that?
I'm not eating that.
You gotta eat it.
I'm not eating it.
You gotta eat it.
I can't. You want it, Manny?
You're not gonna waste
Try
food.
a piece. Try a bite. Smacking it. This isn't gonna work, but my friend Lewis actually did it on a chicken a while back. It's done! It's cooked! Oh my God! And if it works with the chicken, why wouldn't it work with steak?
Laser pointer. I'm wearing these goggles because this laser is so powerful it can make you go blind. Nick, why are you wearing a gas mask?
For safety.
Now, typically this is used for camping to light fires. Let's see how it does on a steak. Doing my best not to stare at it. Oh, listen, it is sizzling the fat. The steak is currently cooking, so this might take some time, but it's currently cooking. So as you can see, it's actually starting to render that fat on the steak. But as cool as this is, it would probably take us over a week to cook this thing. So unfortunately, it's a no. Cooking with dry ice.
This is called cryogenic cooking. Theoretically, you can cook with really hot temperatures, and they say you can also cook with really cold temperatures.
Keyword, theoretically.
If you listen really carefully.
It's sizzling away.
It's my hope that those little crackling sounds you're hearing are the sounds of this steak cooking.
It's been 15 minutes, let's check it out. It's either a nice crust or it's completely frozen, and I have no idea which.
Don't try this at home. We're gonna cook our final steak over hot molten glass. Oh my God. That is so much more smoke and fire than I thought we were gonna have.
It smells great. Whoa.
Holy sh**.
This glass is 2100 degrees, which is literally twice as hot as a normal grill, if not 3 times.
We're already done rendering off the fat. Don't forget to go check out Max's channel and go subscribe. Maybe we were a little bit too harsh about the fire alarm steak. I feel like that's got some nice color to it.
Well done, but decent color.
I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know about steak. In this video, you'll learn how to cook the perfect steak, as well as which steaks you should buy, and more importantly, which steaks not to buy. I'll also demonstrate the most popular cooking methods, including grilled, seared, reverse seared, sous vide, and broiled. I guarantee that if you watch this video, you'll be a steak expert for life. First, what makes a good steak? It all comes down to just one word: balance. And with steak, balance comes down to just 2 main things: flavor and texture. You've probably heard the saying, fat is flavor. Those little white, fatty spots in meat are called marbling. When steak cooks, that fat melts into the meat and keeps it tender and juicy while adding tons of great flavor. That's why it's so important to have that nice balance of fat. Those shots you just saw were Japanese A5 Wagyu, the nicest beef in the entire world. Different countries have their own grading systems for marbling. The 3 main systems coming from the United States, Australia, and Japan. These charts all rate based on the marbling, meaning that the better the marbling, the more you'll probably pay. In front of me is every single type of steak that comes from a cow. Before we cook, it is very important that you understand which steaks come from which portion of the cow, so that you'll be able to choose the right steak for you. You might already think you know which steaks you like best, but what you're about to learn may completely change your mind. As I go through the steaks, I'm also going to add anywhere between $1 and $4 signs to show how expensive the steaks are. Here, I've broken down this cow into a few different sections. You can get steak from the chuck, rib, loin, flank, and plate sections. Cuts that come from the round, shank, and brisket sections cannot be cooked as a steak and typically have to be cooked low and slow, so even though I do love a good brisket, I won't be discussing those today. Let's start with the chuck section. From here, we get the chuck steak, which I love because it comes from the first couple cuts on the chuck and is actually pretty similar to a ribeye steak, but is much cheaper in price. The flat iron comes from the shoulder of the cow and is extremely tender with a good balance of marbling and an intense beefy flavor. Moving on to the rib section, we've got a ribeye steak, which is my personal favorite. It has fantastic marbling and also contains the cap, which is probably the best tasting meat in the entire cow. I'll demonstrate later in the video how to cook it and how to cut it. The loin section is a very tender part of the cow, which makes for juicy but often very expensive steaks. You'll probably recognize a lot of these. One of my favorites that comes from here is the sirloin cap, popularly known as the picanha. This is one of the most prized steaks in all of Brazil, where it's often cooked over open flame. It's tender and juicy with a rich beefy flavor and has a beautiful fat cap. The sirloin steak and the New York strip are both less fatty than the ribeye, with a great balance of tenderness and leanness, but I'd still choose a ribeye any day. The porterhouse and T-bone are both very similar in the sense that both steaks contain two cuts in one, both the fillet and the strip. The difference is the porterhouse has a larger fillet and more fat content, which makes my personal preference the porterhouse over the T-bone. Just be careful when cooking either of these steaks because you're basically cooking two different steaks at the exact same time, which can make it hard to cook both perfectly. The filet mignon and the tenderloin both also come from the same section but are highly overrated. Given how expensive these two cuts are, I would suggest using your money to get something with more fat and therefore more flavor. Tri-tip can also be tasty and typically has great marbling, but it's very tough and unforgiving if you overcook it, so I don't recommend this cut either. From the flank section comes the flank steak, which is probably most recognizable as the beef that comes in your beef and broccoli if you order Chinese takeout. If you marinate it properly and cook it through to medium, it's delicious. Last but not least, we have the short plate section. My favorite steak from here being the skirt steak, specifically the outside skirt, which is more tender than the inside. Later in this video, we will cook and cut a skirt steak, and I really want to focus on the cutting portion of that because despite this being one of my favorite steaks out there, I was cutting it incorrectly most of my life. The final steak and one of my other personal favorites is the hanger steak. Let me tell you, if you haven't tried a hanger steak, you need to. It's also known as the butcher steak since butchers used to save this one for themselves. Trust me when I say you need to try this one. You should use all of that information to find the best combination between flavor, cost, and texture that works best for you. If you're still confused on what steaks to buy, ask your butcher or the person behind the meat counter at the supermarket. I know they might look intimidating at times, but trust me when I say that they're gentle giants and they want to help you. Now that you know what steaks to buy, there's just one last step before cooking, seasoning. And the best part is it's very simple. You'll just season with a high quality salt at least an hour before cooking your steak, if not overnight. This process is called dry brining, and it seasons the whole steak, not just the very outside, which is what happens if you only salt right before cooking. Dry brining allows the salt to go into the meat, so you get that flavor everywhere. You can also get creative with your seasoning and use a marinade, which works particularly well on steaks such as flank steak and strip steak. I've seen tons of comments in the past asking me where my seasoning is if I've only used salt and pepper on a steak. But remember, there is nothing wrong with letting the flavor of steaks speak for itself. Now that our steaks are seasoned, how do we know which method to cook them with? There are plenty to choose from, but we'll do the best and most popular: grilling, searing, reverse searing, sous vide, and broiling. And the best way to decide how to cook your steak comes down to one simple factor: thickness. The focus here is cooking it evenly all the way through to the center while still getting that nice crust on the outside. We're going to start with the most popular way to cook a steak, grilling. And as always, I'm looking for maximum flavor, so I'm going to start with the best charcoal you can get anywhere in the world. This is called binchotan charcoal. I will warn you, it's probably going to be the most expensive wood you ever buy, but it'll also probably be the best flavor you ever get. Once we've added this charcoal to our chimney starter, I'm going to go ahead and use my little trick of using Doritos as a fire starter, because believe it or not, Doritos light extremely well. I'll start by lighting our Doritos on fire, and once they're going, I'll place my charcoal on top. We'll let this go until our charcoal is fully on fire, at which point we want to let that die down to get these nice red, white, hot coals. It's hot enough now that I'm ready to pour that charcoal into the grill, and just look at that incredible glow that we've gotten. Since we've already dry brined each of these steaks with salt, I'm gonna go ahead and finish them off now with some pepper. You can save fresh cracked pepper for last minute just before you grill. Because this is probably too long for our grill, I'm also gonna go ahead and slice it in half. As you can see from the two steaks here, one is very thick and one is very thin. And as we talked about earlier, we're gonna cook these in slightly different ways. With the skirt steak, it's extremely thin, so we'll wanna sear it as quickly as possible. Once again, the goal here with cooking this thin steak is to cook it high and fast. We wanna get that crust without overcooking it. The ribeye will be a different story. Because this charcoal is so hot, we're already ready to flip. I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but to all the grill dads out there who are constantly touching and flipping your steaks, just leave it. The only way you're going to get the proper crust is if you let it sit there patiently on each side as long as you can. That right there is that perfect char that we're looking for. I know you've probably heard a lot of people talk about letting your steak rest, but in all seriousness, it's extremely important. I know you're probably tempted to dive right in, but you want those juices to stay sealed in the steak before you eat it. It's time to cook our ribeye, and as you can see, this is a much thicker steak, and it's going to take a slightly different cooking method to get it done right. To begin, I'll start by rendering off that fat cap, which means we're going to start by cooking it with this thicker fat side down so that all that fat can get nice and crispy. The goal with this thicker steak here is going to be to get that nice crust and then move it off of the direct heat over here so that it can continue staying warm and heat up the rest of the way through the center. If we kept it right over the charcoals throughout the entire cooking process, we might actually burn the crust, and because it's a thicker steak, we need to give it a little bit more time to cook all the way through and get that heat into the center. Now once I've laid it down on the first side here, I'm going to leave it and let it sit until I feel that it's gotten the proper crust. The reason we have a lot more flames with this ribeye here is because there's so much more fat coming out of it, and all that fat, just like butter or oil, is going to light on fire. I think it's already time to flip. Now that we've gotten a crust on both sides, I'm going to slide it over here to cook the rest of the way through. We've gotten a beautiful char on this ribeye, which means tons and tons of flavor. Now that it's over indirect heat, or not right over the coals anymore, I'm going to cover it up so that all of that heat can go ahead and cook it the rest of the way through, almost like a makeshift oven. While our ribeye finishes cooking, it's time to go ahead and cut one of our skirt steaks. When looking at it at first glance, it might seem like you should cut it down the width, but the reason that's incorrect is because that's cutting with the grain, and anytime we slice a steak, we want to cut against the grain. If you simply look at the direction that the fibers are going in, you can pretty easily tell that this grain goes along the width, which means we actually want to slice across the length of the steak. I'm going to cut it in half so we have an easy piece to work with, and then begin slicing. This right here is perfectly cooked skirt steak, and as you can see, because I've cut against the grain, it's extremely soft and pull apart tender. Now that we've sliced all our skirt steak, I have one last tip for you. Even though we let it rest for about 10 minutes, we still have plenty of juices left on the board, and what I like to do is take all of my steak and drag it through all of those juices, and it's going to be delicious. This here is a steak doneness chart that you can use based on your own preferences and how you like your steak cooked. With this steak here, I'm using a thermometer that's measuring the internal temperature so I can know when to pull it off the heat. And if you want it medium rare, you want to take it off at about 130 Fahrenheit internal, which means we're a little behind. Always remember that there's going to be that residual heat that continues cooking your steak even after you've taken it off the grill. For example, this steak here is completely off the heat right now, but it's still very hot and will continue to cook through to the center as we let it rest. The ribeye has a few different sections, the main two being the eye and the cap. The cap being one of the best tasting pieces of meat in the entire cow. To carve it, I'm first going to remove the cap, which is already somewhat separated, but really is a separate piece from the eye. This piece here is typically mostly fat, so I can carve that off as well. With the skirt steak, we talked about slicing against the grain, but the ribeye is already cut from the cow against the grain. We know that because we can see all the little muscle fibers sticking straight up here. This is great because it means there's no wrong way to cut a ribeye. If you're cooking ribeyes at a barbecue, the fat cap is what you should save for yourself. It is extremely juicy, extraordinarily tender, and the flavor just simply doesn't get better. And don't forget to always use all that juice. Oh my god. Let me take a bite. Oh my god, it's so good. When it comes to searing, I actually sometimes prefer that method over grilling because I love the crust that you can get when searing a steak. But we can also add some incredible flavor here through butter basting, which I'll show you shortly. For this method, we'll be using a hanger steak. My preferred pan for searing a steak is a cast iron because it can get extremely hot and holds that heat very evenly. You'll want to begin by starting with some oil that can get to a nice high smoke point. I like to add a little more oil in my pan than most people do because I like that crust to get a little bit higher up on the steak. If you look carefully at any steak, there are quite a few crevices that will be in there, and adding more oil is going to make sure that the oil goes up and inside those crevices and gets everything nice and crispy. Once your oil is smoking hot, make sure you go ahead and lay that steak away from you. Immediately, you're also gonna wanna press that steak down to make sure everything is touching the pan. If it bulges up, that's when you get these big, ugly gray spots and you're not gonna get a good even crust. Once my steak is in, I'll slightly turn down the heat so it doesn't burn. And once I've peeked on the underside of the steak and it appears to have a nice crust, we'll go ahead and flip. That's a crust. Once that crust begins to form on the other side, this is when we can get some of that flavor I was talking about. Turn down your heat so the butter doesn't burn and add in a few cubes of butter, then a few aromatics. Most commonly, people like to use garlic, some rosemary, and a little thyme. Once we've really made sure that all that butter soaks up the flavor of those herbs and that garlic, I'm gonna tilt that pan down towards me to bring all the butter but not the herbs over to this side. Then in a nice smooth motion, I'll start to cover my steak with butter over and over to give it all that flavor and cook it the rest of the way through. This is called butter basting. To rest my steak, I'm gonna place it down on my cutting board and use a little trick I learned from Gordon Ramsay himself. I'm gonna take all my herbs and rest those on top of the steak, and we also can't forget about that delicious garlic. Then we can even pour over a little bit of that oil and butter just to get those last bits of flavor, and that's how our steak will rest. Once our steak has rested, we're gonna slice into it. And once again, we wanna make sure we're slicing against the grain, not with the grain. First, listen to this crust that we just got. What you're looking at here is why we rest our steaks. All that juice gets trapped inside, whereas if we were to cut into it right away, that wouldn't happen. I gotta feed my camera guy first. May I take a bite?
Is it good? That's amazing.
If you haven't tried hanger steak, go taste it. We'll move on to the reverse sear method. I'll be demonstrating this method with a porterhouse, and like I said, we have two different steaks here, so I want to make sure we're getting them to the proper temperatures. These temperature probes will help us simultaneously monitor both parts of the steak, given there are two different cuts. For a long time, I'd heard of this term and had absolutely no idea what it was, but it's actually very simple. Instead of trying to get the crust right away, we're going to put this on a cold pan into the oven and cook it until the internal temperature reads about 125 or 130 Fahrenheit. It's time to take out our steak and finish it with a sear because, as you can see, we need a nice crust. I want you to understand that this steak right here is already cooked perfectly. Similar to sous vide, which we'll do shortly, it just doesn't yet have a crust, and we want a bit of a higher internal temperature. We'll go into our pan with a bit of high heat oil, and because this has a fat cap just like that ribeye that we grilled, we're gonna go ahead and start fat side down. If you don't render off the fat like this, it's basically inedible. But if you cook it to a nice golden brown like this, it's delicious. Once we've rendered off that fat cap, we can lay down our steak, once again laying away from us so we don't get hit with oil. Once we've gotten a nice crust, it's time to flip. One reason lots of people like to reverse sear is they believe that by putting the steak in the oven, it really dries it out and gives you a nicer crust. The same thing that happens when you dry brine your steak. Once we've gotten a crust on both sides, our steak is done. And after letting it take a nice nap, I'll place it back on my cutting board and it's time to slice. I'll start by slicing the fillet right off the bone, and it should cleanly come right out. Then I'll cut down the other side of the bone to get the strip, and I can already tell we've cooked this steak perfectly. And now we get a nice taste of filet mignon. I know I said it's overrated, but I didn't say it wasn't good. And a delicious New York strip. Nailed it. Once you've cooked one of these steaks, you can certainly see why it's called a T-bone. Moving on to one of my favorite methods to cook a steak, we'll be doing this picanha sous vide. I'll lay it fat side down and then begin slicing this into nice thick steaks. You might notice that right now we're slicing with the grain instead of against the grain, and that's because once we cook this later as a steak, we'll be able to slice it against the grain before we eat it. With picanha, we want to focus on the flavor, so we're only going to hit it with a touch of salt. Sous vide is when you vacuum seal your food in a bag and then cook it in a precisely regulated water bath. The steak is cooked in its own juices and should come out extremely tender. You'll probably want to get a nice vacuum sealer like this one because the goal is to make sure you get all the air out of that bag and get a nice tight seal. And it's a satisfying and extremely easy process. This is a circulator that's going to keep our water at the same temperature the entire time our steak cooks. Some people could call it lazy, but the reality is it's going to cook the steak to the perfect temperature every single time. The only thing we don't get from sous vide is that nice crust on the outside of our steak. So we're going to set the temperature a little bit below what we want it to end up at, so that when our steak has reached that internal temperature that we want, we can sear it off, which will bring it up a few degrees, get us that nice crust, and get us to the perfect temperature that we're looking for. As you'll notice, the steak is pretty floppy and mushy and doesn't really have much color to it. But remember, this steak is cooked to a perfect medium rare right now. You could eat it and be totally fine. It just lacks any texture. And that's why we need to get that crust. Because there's so much fat on my picanha, I'm gonna start by just rendering off that fat on the top. We might actually get enough oil out of this thing to sear the rest of the steak without even having to add anything. As I cook this, I'm gonna move it around the pan, pressing on all corners and sides to really melt down all that fat. Once our fat cap looks like this, it's time to sear our steak. If your picanha doesn't look like this, you're doing it wrong. The picanha's had some time to rest, and as you can see, the grain runs along the length, so we'll be cutting across the width. I am very excited to dive into this steak. What's amazing about a bite like this is that it's got beautiful marbling in the center, that nice little piece of rendered off fat cap on the top, and a beautiful crust on the outside. There's a reason this is one of my favorite steaks in the entire world. The final method we'll test today is broiling, and for that we're going to be using this chuck steak. Buying a chuck steak is going to get you something very similar to a ribeye without that steep cost. I've talked today about making a simple marinade for your steak, and we're going to make one now. I'll add some lemon zest, lemon juice, a few cloves of garlic, a few Calabrian chilies, some rosemary, and olive oil. Once we've blended it up, I'll finish it with just a touch of salt and a bit of black pepper. Ideally, we would have marinated this steak overnight, but since we didn't get to do it ahead of time, I have another great trick for you. I'll place my steak into this food saver container, then pour over that marinade, fully covering the steak with all this deliciousness. Then I'll add back on this lid, make sure it's nice and tightly sealed, and using this machine we used earlier, I'm gonna go ahead and marinate. And what we're doing here now is called rapid infusion. What we're doing is sucking out all of that air and speeding up the marination process by forcing that flavor into our steak. I'll let this sit for about 15 minutes to let all that flavor do its thing, and then we're ready to broil. At this point, our flavor should be pretty infused, so I'm gonna release the pressure and open it up. The smell of this marinade is unbelievable. Now that all that flavor has soaked deep into our steak, we'll go ahead and transfer it to a sheet tray where we're going to broil it. Before you broil, position that oven rack to one of the upper levels, and once you've set your oven to about as high as it can go, in goes your steak. Once we can see that our steak has gotten a nice crust on the top and is beginning to sizzle, I'm gonna go ahead and pull my tray out, give it a nice flip, and back in we go. After we've cooked about 5 minutes on either side, our steak should be done, so it's time to let it take a little nap. This one turns out extremely tender after cooking, but certainly looks a bit messier, so you can use your best judgment when it comes time to slice. This steak might be the most tender we've had today, and it's definitely nice and juicy. The fun thing also about using a marinade, you can make it taste however you like. I'm hoping that after watching this video, you'll be a true master when it comes to cooking a steak. Please go subscribe so you can catch Gordon if you learned anything from this video, and make sure you toss a like, because it really helps us out. I love steak. I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. Today we're making a beef Wellington, and I know that's very daunting to a lot of people, even potentially myself, because we all know it's one of the hardest things out there that you can actually make, or at least pull off in the correct way. A lot of people would call the beef Wellington Gordon Ramsay's specialty, and he's not the type of guy that you want to disappoint. So that's why today, when I make this beef Wellington, not only will I teach you how to make the proper beef Wellington today, I'll also be making literally every part I possibly can from scratch. That's right, all the way down to the mustard that we use to paint that beef. Everything is gonna be homemade. You don't have to make it all homemade. But I know that beef Wellington already tastes ridiculously good on its own. Why not try to make the better beef Wellington? Now, the most important part of a beef Wellington, of course, is the beef. And that's why I've got something special. This thing that I got today is a weapon. This big giant honker is a full American Wagyu tenderloin. Now, as you can see, it's wider and bigger at this end and a little bit smaller at the tip here. So I want to be basically cutting that part between my two hands to get that perfect piece. And look at that, we got all the seals of certification. This is purebred Wagyu beef. Now, as I use in most of my videos, this is from the Wagyu shop. And again, it's never an ad, but I always just toss that link in case you do want to grab any. Because given how much I cook with Wagyu, people ask me all the time where I get it, and that's where I get it. We genuinely, truly don't have any sort of deal together. But with that said, we're starting with the best of the best right now. Japanese Wagyu would be a bit too fatty to use for this because we're gonna bake it in the oven in the end to get that perfect golden brown Wellington. And we don't want all that fat melting. So for now, this is what we got. Now, while we let that tenderloin come up to temperature, we're gonna start with what's called a duxelles. That's spelled D-U-X-E-L-L-E-S. It's essentially a fancy filling we're gonna make with mushrooms, shallots, garlic. It's actually quite tasty, and it's not too hard to make, so don't let the name scare you. To start, I'm gonna dump out a little over a pound of assorted mushrooms. I had my mushroom guy go out and forage for some fun, unique things here. So just like anything else in the kitchen, we're really not messing around. After trimming down all our mushrooms and making sure we've taken off any of those unwanted stems, we're gonna start chopping. You gotta know this ahead of time. This part might get a little bit messy because we need to get these nice and small. Usually I just start to go for it. Now, there's a few methods to chopping these mushrooms up because it's gonna take you a while. My favorite way is to typically put 2 knives between my fingers and then just go like this up and down all my mushrooms to get those chopped up really nice and fine. But another way I've seen people do it is to just go like this.
Now, that's definitely a little bit messier and the mushrooms fly all over the place. But whatever it takes to get those down to a really fine, small granule is what you need to do. These are gonna be used to essentially make this paste, almost like an olive tapenade, that'll be enveloping our Wellington. So they've gotta be nice and small. Once your mushrooms have been nice and finely chopped, your kitchen counter area is definitely gonna be a bit of a mess. But trust me, your work here will be worth it. These are in nice small bits here. And now we're ready to chop up those shallots and garlic. For our shallots and garlic, I typically like to do about 2 medium-sized shallots and then just a couple cloves of that garlic. For those of you that hate peeling off those little bits outside of each clove of garlic, I got a trick for you. Simply take some sort of jar or a cup, then cover it up and shake. It's like the shake weight. Once you open that up, a bunch of the cloves should already be fully peeled, and it makes your life so much easier. Another trick to get that garlicky smell off your hands once you're done is to rub your hands across something stainless steel, like the head of your sink. Believe it or not, that's the best way to get off that garlic smell. Now for the garlic, since I don't like to cut on my cutting board and I'm also lazy again, I'm just gonna put the cloves into my garlic press and go right into a bowl. This will give us all that fresh garlic flavor without having to mess up our board, and it makes our life a whole lot easier. As for the shallots, we just wanna kinda chop those in the same way that we chop those mushrooms. There doesn't have to be any special method here. Just make sure they're relatively all the same size. So, believe it or not, with the shallots, I know this recently happened on a video with onions, but I've been cutting shallots long enough right now that, I don't know, I'm getting a little emotional again. It's not the worst practice to practice chopping this with your eyes closed. I feel bad crying in front of you guys like this, so I'm sorry, but Wellington is a good food. I'm getting a little bit emotional about it. Now that we have all of that prepped out, let's start cooking. First, we'll go a little bit of olive oil into a medium-sized pan here. Now we're not gonna wait for that to get hot. Immediately, I'll toss in my garlic, follow this right away with my shallots, and then a nice sprinkle of salt, because we always salt when we add garlic or onions. Now I'll turn my heat down to medium and evenly coat these to get these going. It should get really nice and aromatic here. Make sure you're constantly scraping the sides of the pan so that nothing browns and burns. Once those have gotten nice and aromatic, we're gonna add in our mushrooms. Again, make sure you're choosing a pan that'll fit all of these. Looks like I chose the perfect pan. You can go in with a little bit of thyme or some other seasonings, and I always just like to add a few fresh bay leaves. We're gonna take those out at the end. And quite frankly, they're a lot easier to remove than something like thyme, so I like that they give some flavor without being a huge pain in the butt. Now, on medium heat, we're just gonna mix these around a little bit for about 5 to 7 minutes until they give off some of their moisture. Similar to spinach, this is gonna reduce in volume in a few minutes. Once this is reduced down quite a bit, you can see that our skillet's about half full now. We're gonna add in just a little splash of red wine, because to me, that gives flavor unlike anything else. And as you know, red wine goes quite well with beef. Ah, that looks so good. We're not filming, right? Okay. No. Now to finish off these mushrooms, let's pull out all those bay leaves, then add in just a little bit of pepper for some more seasoning, and if you need it, just a touch more salt. Your key here is gonna be to have these as dry as possible because we don't want anything leaking out of our Wellington. This is really here to just provide tons of flavor. So once these are nice and dried out, you can set them aside. While our mushrooms are rested off to the side now, our next step's gonna be to make a few crepes. This is actually becoming a pretty common thing to do in Wellington because you need something in there that'll help to absorb any of that extra leakage. Let's just say you didn't cook those mushrooms long enough. This will hopefully save you. Into a large bowl, we're gonna do 2 cups of all-purpose flour, about 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, and just a nice little pinch of salt. Whisk this up until it's nice and well combined, and then make a nice little well in the middle of your bowl. Next, we're gonna crack in 4 eggs right into the middle of that well. Some might tell you to do it one at a time, but I just like to do it all at once. Once those eggs are in there, we're gonna whisk this up until it's nice and well combined, still keeping the eggs in the center of that well, and then we're gonna slowly drizzle in about 3 cups of whole milk, just a little bit at a time. Funnily enough, I make my crepes similar to the way I make homemade pasta, using something like the well method to mix it all together. Keep in mind, crepe batter is very thin, so don't get alarmed if it seems a little bit thinner than your regular old pancake batter. Once it looks something like this, you're ready to make those crepes. Now to cook these crepes in a large pan, we're gonna add a little hunk of butter and just let that melt down. Now once that's melted, I'm gonna go in with about a 1/3 cup of my nice smooth crepe batter, and then quickly swirl this around my pan to try to get a nice even crepe. Then over medium heat, we're gonna let this cook on this first side for about 2 minutes. Once that crepe is cooked on one side, gently lift it up and give it a nice little flip. Don't worry if it gets a little mangled, they're actually quite durable, and you can just press it back into the middle of your pan. Then we'll cook it a minute more on this side and our crepe is done. Repeat this process until you have maybe 4 or 5 crepes. Just make sure you have enough to wrap that Wellington. And again, this isn't a necessary step, but I think it's really helpful. You know, technically I don't think it's kosher to get that color on a crepe when you're making it, but to me there's nothing like getting that beautiful, soft golden brownness. Ow, God. Now for the last step before we finally work with that big fat tenderloin, we're gonna make our own mustard. Because with a beef Wellington, you're gonna rub some Dijon mustard right onto that beef itself. Now, this is one of two things in this video that I did make ahead of time. But don't worry, I'm not just saying it's homemade, it really is. Right here I have some yellow and brown mustard seeds. Last night, I essentially combined these with some white vinegar, some white wine, a little allspice, salt, white pepper, and onion. That pretty much sits overnight in my fridge. And what I have now can be blended down just a bit more to make a really nice Dijon that can be more easily spread onto my Wellington. Homemade mustard is really, really tasty. But again, this wasn't an easy thing to do ahead of time. So I made it ahead now, and now I'm just gonna pulse it up so you can see what this turns into. You'll notice that many of those larger yellow and brown seeds are suddenly gonna turn into that more smooth Dijon paste that you might see. Once I'm at this point here, I'm pretty happy because you can see a lot of yellow there and this is ready to be spread. I still want some of those small mustard seeds in there just to get that texture. But as far as I'm concerned, we're ready to go. So let's bring out that tenderloin. Congratulations, you've made it to the beef. The first thing we're gonna do without damaging that beef is slice it open. But because I know there's gonna be a lot of juice there, I'm gonna put a paper towel down. You always gotta be smart in the kitchen, and all it takes is just a few messes not to mess it up again the next time. I'll tear through the plastic to expose what's a beautiful, beautiful tenderloin here. And ooh, I like that logo with the cow. It's pretty badass. All right, now it's all about finding that perfect piece. I've been peeling off some of this fat, but more importantly, some of this silver skin that we really don't want in our Wellington. Some of it like this is actually pretty easy to peel off. And it'll just help so you don't get any of those nasty little bits when you go to eat. I realize I just called this a Wellington, and it's a tenderloin, but you get what I mean. Make it look pretty. Now, if I flip it around, you can see that there's sort of a weird portion here that's not really attached to the main part. I'm gonna cut that off, because in reality, I need this one nice uniform piece. And to me, that's looking like it's right here. With a few nice clean cuts, I'll come all the way through with my sharp chef's knife. And now is where you can probably tell that this is what a filet mignon would come from. That's why a Wellington is so incredibly good. Now, like I said, we want it all nice and even. And I can see that at about right here, it starts tapering off, which means that for the other end of our Wellington, we're gonna cut right here. Now, I know we have a little piece of silver skin off here, so I'll do my best to get a little bit of that off. Because again, this is a luxury cut of meat. And more importantly, what we're making is a really luxury dish. So we don't want people having to battle through this tough silver skin to try to eat a really nice soft piece of Wellington. Now, isn't it great that we've just trimmed down that whole large piece into this beautiful, perfectly shaped piece that we're gonna put in our Wellington? As you can see on the sides here, this is a perfect piece of beef. Like I said, if I cut this into 2 or maybe 3 pieces here, that'd be 3 portions of filet mignon. But here we're leaving the whole piece intact and making that beautiful, large Wellington that we can cut into and open up for you to see. Now, this is gonna get cooked twice throughout this process. First, we're gonna sear it off. And before we do that, we wanna season it with just a little bit of salt, or I should say a lot bit of salt, making sure we get all around the entire thing, including the bottom. And then I'll also hit it with a nice little serving of fresh cracked pepper, which again, is just providing even more flavor and is a key part of just seasoning all along the way. Once you've rolled that around in its seasonings a little bit, this beautiful hunk of meat is ready to sear off. First, we're gonna add a little bit of oil that's got a high smoke point. That's right, it's time to sear off that tenderloin. Now, once it does reach a smoke point, we're gonna sear on each side for about 1 minute and 30 seconds or so. Depending on the size of your tenderloin, maybe a little bit more, but no less. Again, we're cooking this more later, so we don't wanna overcook this right now or your Wellington is totally screwed. Not actually, but seriously, just try to be careful with the searing here. For now, I'll place it into the pan. There's gonna be a lot of smoke. Our goal here is to get a nice crust, as well as just lightly start cooking this thing before we go to cook it the rest of the way in our oven. This is such a nice cut of meat that the Wellington can be nice and rare when it comes out of the oven. So I guess I should also say that if you like your meat on the more medium side of things, maybe cook it a little longer in here, because the oven you can't really control, given you're gauging the cooking process based on the puff pastry on the outside. You don't have so much wiggle room to leave it in the oven any longer or shorter there. Otherwise, your puff pastry won't be golden brown. Once this is all set on the first side, we're gonna flip it onto the second side and let it sear more. But first, take a look at the crust that we've already gotten on here. Also take note on the edge of your tenderloin how much it's already cooked in, because you want this to be even on all areas. Once that second side's done, one more flip. Again, about 1 minute and 30 seconds on this last side here. Then all we have to do is kiss those ends and this thing's ready to go. There's gonna be a lot of smoke at this point and I already know I'm gonna set off the fire alarm in my building. But now kiss both ends of that Wellington. I'd say only about 30 seconds or so on each side. And once that's done, we're gonna take it off the heat immediately. Look, standing by itself. Now right away, with your Wellington sitting on a paper towel to catch any of those extra juices that might flow out, we're gonna paint the entire thing in our homemade Dijon mustard. I know most of you are probably gonna buy the mustard, and I'm not gonna judge you for that, I promise. After all, if you're daring to make homemade beef Wellington, you're already a pro and fearless in my book. But my point here is to get a nice Dijon mustard. You've already spent your money on that nice tenderloin, you've bottled the other ingredients, so why skimp and use some crappy mustard? It just doesn't make any sense. When coating this, make sure you really paint the entire thing. Similar to the salt and pepper, you wanna cover all sides of the Wellington to get that flavor. Whenever we're cooking, we're all about maximizing that flavor. I'll roll this thing over and get that last side of our Wellington. Usually you'll pretty quickly pick out what's gonna be the bottom of your Wellington. And because this is the part of my Wellington that seems to be splitting the most, I'm gonna use this as the bottom just so we can keep the nicest shape possible here. Once you've given it that full Dijon mustard treatment, we can assemble our Wellington. We're finally ready to layer on that Wellington. So first, we're gonna start with those crepes. I've got a nice big stack of them going on here. And because we have a really fat welly, I think I'm gonna use about 3 to make sure the whole thing wraps up okay. Our next step here is gonna be layering on that prosciutto. To be quite honest, I question most foods, and I've really never questioned why prosciutto is something that goes in Wellington. But I guess prosciutto is a really good tasting meat, and I'm not mad that it's in here. I more just wonder why. Next, you already know we're going on with those mushrooms. You just wanna be layering these bad boys on in a nice thin layer, but also put enough that you get all that mushroomy flavor. Because I have to say, as weird as it looks, this is one of my favorite things that goes into Wellington. You might not like mushrooms, and I'll be honest, I'm not even the biggest fan myself, but this tastes incredible. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Down we go with that Wellington. Keep that thing as tight as you can. As we come up under those crepes and begin to roll, make sure you really are bringing this in as tight as you possibly can here. The final Wellington's just gonna look so much better if everything's nice and tucked in. Now I'm gonna come in with my ridiculously large saran wrap, or plastic wrap, whatever you wanna call it. And that's when we tuck our Wellington into a nice little sausage, rolling it up again and keeping it as tight as possible in the process. I'll do the same thing again with my plastic wrap, really rolling up that Wellington, but more importantly, getting some nice tails on there, just so that I can cinch up those edges and make it really nice and tight in here. This right here is the stage where our Wellington goes to sleep for a little while. It's basically that step just before we cook it, where we wanna give it a chance to firm up a little bit again, and get into that nice oval shape that we want when we cut into it. Now that it's nice and wrapped up, we'll place this in the refrigerator for about 45 minutes until it's firmed up. Now we want a really nice sauce with our Wellington. To me, that's an extremely important part because yes, your Wellington's gonna be juicy, but you want some nice sauce there. Who doesn't? First, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of butter. Let that melt down, maybe even brown a little bit just for that extra flavor. Then come in with some thyme. It's gonna crackle a lot, but I like to put this in first to really let the butter zap that flavor out of there. Once those have cooked down just a little bit, I'm gonna add in some shallots. Again, those give such good flavor for a stock like this, so I wanna work those into this somehow. Saute these up just for a little bit, not necessarily browning them, but really just getting out that flavor. And once that's nice and hot, we'll go in with a little bit of red wine. And once that wine's in there, we flambe. Now I'm gonna toss in my homemade bone stock. I have been saving things for about 3 months, all in my freezer. Onion peels, extra onion bits, and all the peels from the onions, carrots, celery, anything that's going bad, red peppers, whatever. Check out this jiggle. I let this stock go for about 9 hours overnight, and it is jiggly as can be, which means there's a ton of collagen in there from all the bones. Now first, this will be quite satisfying. I'm gonna peel it right out of my bowl. Sorry. I'm getting carried away. But seriously, isn't that pretty cool how jiggly this stuff is? I'm gonna drop this all into my pan and it's gonna quickly melt down to make our stock. And while that melts, I wanna show you. That right there is my proof. Like I said, celery, carrots, onions, Parmesan rinds, chicken bones, beef bones. We got everything in this thing. And it all came down to this. Once this melts down, we wanna cook this off to really pump in all the flavor and get everything back together. Then we'll strain. Now before we reduce this down even further into a fine, thick sauce for our Wellington, we'll pour this over a bowl and strain it out, as we don't want any of those solid pieces. Now we can discard this, and this will go back into our pan to reduce until it's a nice thick paste. Now for our puff pastry, the last step before we put that Wellington in the oven. I guess I lied, we're not making everything homemade today. But honestly, puff pastry is one of those things that pretty much no one makes homemade except for the person that's making this. It's just one of those things that if you make it homemade, it's not gonna be any better than this right here. And I genuinely believe that. I'm not just saying that because we're not making this part homemade. We're just gonna roll this puff pastry sheet out a teeny bit here. I generally roll this to about half the thickness that we get out of the package. Then you also wanna go a little bit across so that it'll actually fit your whole Wellington. Once you've done that, give it a nice flip over to make sure it's all disconnected from your cutting board, and then we'll bring that Wellington out of the fridge. Once we take that Wellington out of the fridge, we'll wanna quickly and gently unwrap it from this plastic wrap. I will say, plastic wrap typically isn't one of those things that I love to use in the kitchen, although it's just a necessary thing for a lot of recipes. Once we unwrap the Wellington, let's place it down on the base of our puff puff pastry, perfectly centered, and then paint some egg wash, which is essentially just a few egg yolks with a touch of water, right under that puff pastry to make sure everything sticks really well. I like to pretty much paint the entire inside of this thing, and that way you're pretty well covered. It's a whole lot better to just cover everything than have that worst case scenario of something not sticking and getting messed up when you roll it all together. Once we painted it all, let's roll the whole thing up, still keeping everything as tight as we possibly can. Then, once we get to that last part, we'll take our knife and make a nice clean cut across. Now, we just want to pinch everything together and make sure that it's really well solidified here. At this point, this is going to be the bottom of our Wellington, but we still want it all well secured. And the same thing goes for the corners here, which we'll pinch together and then wrap somewhat like a dumpling. If you want to, you can even take a little square off the ends and go like that. It actually looks kind of cute. Now I'll do the same pinching process on the other side of my Wellington and perhaps put that same little cap on the end here to make it look nice and uniform. Then we can place it on our baking sheet. Here, I just want to lift up quickly and place it down fast so that nothing breaks. Again, we want to work quick here. Now at this point, to get that nice golden brown shine, we want to paint the entire Wellington with egg wash again. This is going to give it that beautiful golden brown color that we're all looking for. So you really want to make sure you paint every last part of it if possible. This is where you get that true beauty on your Wellington. And I know I've mentioned this before, but I actually happen to really enjoy painting this kind of thing. I don't know what it is, but as someone who cooks all the time, it's quite nice to just whip out a paintbrush and start using that instead of your hands or a spoon. If you have an extra sheet of puff pastry and happen to weirdly have one of these lattice rollers, which I only have for making some dessert I made a while back, you can put a really nice pattern on top of your Wellington. We'll start just above the very edge of it, and while holding the back, go all the way down my sheet here. Then, with my knife, I'll trim all the way down this puff pastry, going gently down both sides here. This will leave me with a beautiful lattice pattern that I can place over the top of my Wellington. I'll bring the tray back into frame here, and now once we've spaced it out and have that perfect lattice pattern, we'll lay this perfectly over our Wellington, pressing it lightly and tucking it around to make sure we get that perfect pattern all the way across. Once it's fully tucked in, we'll take a small knife and trim everything to make sure that it fits right. Again, this is definitely not a necessary step, but we've come this far that why not make it perfect? Once we've fully tucked in our whole Wellington, we're gonna hit the whole thing once again with a little bit more of that egg wash, making sure this is all pressed down and secured, and also making sure that all that lattice pattern also gets the golden brown color. And then there's only one more thing to do before it goes in the oven. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you just a quick second here while I paint it to think about it. If you haven't figured it out already, just think seasoning. That's right, just a teeny bit of salt right over the top of the Wellington here, maybe hitting the sides as well to make sure that everything is covered in just a last little bit of salt. And then we bake it. I can't tell you how excited I am to say those words. Wow, we're taking flaky salt to the next level with this stuff. At this point, I'm gonna put this in a 415-degree Fahrenheit oven, and honestly, I can't really give you a strict time here. You've worked all this time on it, so after about maybe 8 minutes or so, start watching really carefully to pull it out when it's nice and golden brown. Guess I'll see you in a few minutes. That's right, we've made the most beautiful beef Wellington. B-roll. But as they say, it's what's on the inside that counts. This may look gorgeous on the outside, but if our meat on the inside isn't cooked to perfection, then I will not be happy. Gordon won't be happy. Nobody will be happy. So let's dive in. Too much pressure. I need a sharp knife. Cannot mess this up. And now. Oh, God. And now. We have all waited for this moment. I know. So let's just do it. Come through that beautiful crust. Look at that golden brown perfection. Come right through that warm, delicious tenderloin beef. Cut down. Like I said, we're looking for a nice rare here. Let's just open it up. Oh, my God. That looks good. Come on, guys. Now hear me out here. Sometimes on camera, things can look weird. And from what I can tell right now, this looks perfect. But I'm just gonna say this. The way that you test if you're making a Wellington and wanna know if it's perfect is simply by touching the very middle of that beef. If it's nice and warm, just like we have here, then you've nailed that medium rare. I am absolutely, completely 100% blown away by the cook on this beef Wellington. And now it's time for the last hurrah, eating it. Now to finish off this Wellington, I'm gonna take a little slice. And today I'm actually gonna sit down and enjoy the food. Usually I really just kind of get after it. You know, just take a bunch of bites out of it while I'm still going. But today we're gonna sit down and actually talk through this thing. To start, I'm gonna take a nice thick slice through our Wellington. It's sometimes not the easiest thing in the world to cut, but as you can see here, I got a pretty darn good slice. For the rest of our Wellington, I'm gonna move this off to the side. You already know I'm eating that whole thing later. Now today, let's give it a nice little plate. I'll start by coming under the Wellington and putting it nicely down on our plate here. To me, the black plate really lets you see the food well. Now to finish the plating here, let's take a little bit of that reduced bone stock, which is now that really sticky, thick, delicious glaze. And we'll add a little bit right at the base of our Wellington here. Just barely touching the edge and just enough to get enough sauce to enjoy this thing with. Now to finish it, just to liven things up a little bit, I like to sprinkle a few freshly chopped chives over my Wellington. And that's it. This right here is the whole dish. This is what we've worked for. Now yes, I think you might be wondering why we have this small little plate off to the edge. And you may have guessed it already. That's for Pesto. If you don't know who that is, that's my little hamster. And I'm gonna give him a tiny little piece of the Wellington put right there. That's just got a little bit of that meat juice right under it. Then I will top that with one tiny piece of chive, as he's not supposed to have much onion since it's a little bit spicy for him. And then just 2 drops of that beautiful chicken glaze, which he will absolutely love. Now, it's time to sit down and enjoy. Now, Pesto is a very lucky hamster, and he's crawling all over my hands already because he knows there's something special in front of him. I've told this before, but he was on sale, so instead of $12, he was actually only $9. And he always eats food that's a heck of a lot more expensive than him. But I love him so much. And those numbers don't really matter to me. Now I'm gonna place Pesto down and just let him enjoy right next to me so that we can have a really nice family meal together. Pesto, give it a try and see what you think, buddy. I'm really curious to see your thoughts. How is it? You are right, that is absolutely spectacular. Not only does it look beautiful, but it tastes so good. Did you finish already, dude? Come on, slow down a little bit. Enjoy it. Now, there is something special about this beef Wellington. It is the softest, most tender beef out there, and I don't even need the chef's knife. In fact, it's probably dangerous to have it around Pesto. I can very easily use my little fork here just to cut this meat. It's that tender. And when I pick up a bite, it's just like biting into a soft, creamy pillow. Now it looks like Pesto's finished his meal here, but I've still got a ways to go, so I hope he'll wait around while I finish up. Pesto, that's your plate. This is my plate, that's your plate. Pesto keeps trying to eat my Wellington. I think it's time to put him back in his cage, but he's proved his point here. He loves the Wellington. Thanks for being here, buddy. Now I'm serious when I say there's something very special about this Wellington. It starts from that really incredibly soft and tender tenderloin on the inside there. That's why they call it tenderloin after all. But then you bite into those creamy mushrooms, that beautiful blend with the slight hint of that red wine that's in there, and it is so, so good. It's so, so soft. After that, of course, you're immediately hit with that crispy, buttery, delicious puff pastry. Think of biting into a croissant and then into a piece of filet mignon. And that's what you're getting with the Wellington. But that doesn't even begin to describe all the flavors in here. Of course, we have salt and pepper, but it's so much more than that. That sauce is what really brings it together. Save up your bones, save up all those veggie scraps, save up your Parmesan cheese rinds, I'm telling you. Then once in a while, you toss it all in a big pot, cover the whole thing with water, maybe toss in a few bay leaves and a nice sprinkle of salt, and just let that cook. The further you reduce that, the more flavor will be there. And I'm telling you right now that it makes any stock from the market taste like, I feel so bad for the neighbors when I do stuff like that because they can see right in the windows and it just must be terrible for them. Now I'm gonna take one last little bite here, but I really wanna say that this video has been an absolute pleasure to make. I really hope you all love this because a beef Wellington isn't the easiest thing out there, but what I'm trying to show you is that you can do it. Seriously, if you watched this video, you know how to make a beef Wellington now. And again, you don't have to make it all from scratch, so don't worry about that stuff. Here's the worst thing that happens. You pull it out of the oven, and maybe it's a little underdone. Press those babies back together and just shove it back in the oven for a few more minutes. That's fine. There's ways to get around all the user error that can come with making something like this, but I'm telling you, you can do it. Now, thank you for watching the video. This was such a fun one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell because you don't want to miss any of the videos that are coming up. I was on the phone not long ago trying to get a 75-pound full wheel of Parmesan cheese here. Just wait till we roll that through the door. Now, this Wellington is still hot as can be. And I know I have some good heat tolerance, but I can't yet hold this with my bare hands. But all I wanted to say is thanks for watching, happy cooking, and I'll see you next time.